Bravo! Bravo!
We're going to introduce this fine person in just a moment, but we want to let you know that the story of tonight is the story of Vashon and the students who come here to study, and it's been going on for decades like this. And the person who keeps clapping has been here for all of those decades. We're going to learn a lot about the class of 2023 tonight, one student at a time, bringing the hopes of the donors and so much of this community and the students together. We're weaving together the old and the new.
And just to be completely transparent, my name's Martha Ensign. This is Kevin Joyce. We have a business that lives on the island called Enjoy Productions, and we're absolutely honored to be here tonight to be hosting this with you all. So great. So whether people have been here for generations or if they don't even live on the island but come over here to go to school, there is a very fantastic tradition here. Tangible support, something that hundreds of islanders and island lovers do every year. The Vashon Community Scholarship Foundation receives donations from all over the country to honor these students.
Isn't that incredible? It's amazing. So you're going to clap a lot of times. You can do it spontaneously. You can do it when cued. You can scream, hoot, and holler. I think that's really part and parcel of it tonight. So we have 10 presenters this evening. They'll each have 10 students coming up with them. They'll pay tribute to each student's island journey that has been articulated in these amazing notebooks they made. And we're also going to recognize a whole bunch of the donors. 90% of the scholarships tonight are going to be thanked, and the general fund donors are also going to be thanked, who provided 10% of the scholarships as well.
We'd like to welcome new scholarships into the fold. If people have just begun a scholarship that's brand new, there's also some new memorials. And many of the scholarships that you'll hear tonight are memorials of people who have passed and have been important to the island. We're going to feature 5 scholarships that have been around for decades. And we're going to call out the donors that are in-house if we know that you're here, and if we don't call you out, please don't feel overlooked. Just stand up and wave when we talk about your scholarship.
Stand up and wave when we don't talk about you. That
Stand up and wave whenever you like.
But we want to call to your attention the programs which have been painstakingly put together, and the kids wrote beautiful little statements that are all between 25 and 41 words, and it's amazing that they were able to do that. But there's student bios in there. We want to also express incredible appreciation for the selection panel, for the partners who made this possible, for the scholarship, obviously, and the fund donors. And we'll call attention for the first time tonight in the program, there is a QR code. And that takes you to a Venmo page. Should you be inspired to contribute to the general fund, that's a great place to do it.
Yeah, don't hesitate to donate to this amazing process so that all those generations of future Vashon Island High School graduates can also get a little bounce from the community, and also the appreciation and love that they get from knowing that this whole community is behind you as you go off to college. I would like now to introduce Stephanie Van Deventer. She's the Vashon Community Scholarship Foundation board member, and she has just done so much work to make this happen.
As has this entire group of folks that
Yeah.
she's worked with tirelessly for years and years and years.
Give her a huge round of applause.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are so delighted to be back here in person once again for the first time in 4 years, the class of 2023. And once again, our tiny little community gets to demonstrate its very large heart. As we pay tribute to each student and many of our scholarship donors, and the unique stories behind them, we'd also like to thank every single community donor. You are our foundation and our sustenance. The scholarship selection process began last fall, when every student that is being honored tonight was very courageous. They made the very, very difficult and courageous decision to share through their completed notebook their challenges and their dreams. Their introspection gave our donors, community panel, and board members the opportunity to search for clues to understand each of them and what awards would best fit Many hours were spent thoughtfully and diligently to match each scholarship with their goals. Class of 2023, there are repeated themes in your notebooks which showed you to be particularly resilient and genuinely committed to making a positive difference in the world. Our goal tonight is that we recognize each and every one of you and the incredible donors that make this all possible. Please keep in mind that even though each of your awards is very intentional, any mistakes in the pronunciation of your names or personal pronouns are completely unintentional. Also, the order in which you are called has nothing to do with your value or the value of your award. So sit back and enjoy the tributes to you and your classmates. If you're here, you've already won. Over the next couple of hours, we have the extreme privilege of awarding almost $240,000. Yeah, amazing, amazing. And at the end of the ceremony, our VCSF treasurer, Ellen Call, will close with your final instructions for picking up your notebooks and receiving your scholarships. Pay close attention to that. As we begin the celebration, however, it's important for you to understand that it's not about the money. The vital message to you, the class of 2023, from your Vashon Island community tonight, is we believe in you, we are inspired by you, we are hopeful for you, and you are loved. So let's get started. Enjoy.
Awesome.
Thank you, Stephanie.
So one of the things we're going to do is we're going to talk about some scholarships, some old and new ones. So let's tell our first scholarship story. This is the K. White Scholarship given by the Vashon Garden Club.
Okay, the Vashon Moore Island Garden Club is a group of over 100 avid gardeners with a shared interest in home, civic, and commercial gardening. The club raises money to fund, among other projects, a scholarship that has been in force continuously for 23 years. I know. It's awarded to students who are interested in studying horticulture, botany, environmental science, landscape architecture, or forestry. In 2017, the scholarship was renamed to honor past Garden Club President Kay White, who's also the namesake of our local performance hall, as I'm sure you know. The Garden Club posts thank you notes from its scholarship recipients on their website, which is a nice way for members to connect with the student recipients and evidence their mission in action, supporting the education of plant lovers and the ecologically sound treatment of the earth. Current Vashon Garden Club President Marge Lofstrom told us that she read scholarship notebooks from this year's class and was smitten with nearly every one. This is not an uncommon reaction from scholarship donors. It doesn't matter how many years you've been choosing recipients for your scholarship, it's a tough job. They have decided to award 2 scholarships this year. I know there are Garden Club members in the house, so thank you so much.
Go Gardeners.
And let's hear about the next scholarship.
So this is a new scholarship called the Young Architect Designer Award. This new industry-specific scholarship is given by a group of architects on Vashon to a graduate who's interested in studying architecture or another building design-related field. And the award celebrates a student who's shown creativity and artistic promise that prepares designers to explore the wonderful world of transforming visions for spaces into realities of built structures to better our world. And the donors have offered career guidance and valuable insight into the profession to whoever receives their scholarship. Thank you so much for stepping up, Vashon Architects. Now, we're going to do our first group of thanks.
Okay, donor thanks. So every student gets a scholarship for school. Every student who did a notebook. All of you who spent all the time doing those notebooks. We have a daughter who graduated a couple years ago, and I remember. And who is funding all of these scholarships? We'd like to honor these people. So for one, Island Families, that's who. And we'll be thanking the various donors from different groups throughout the evening.
So some of the families: the Beardsley Family Foundation, Friends of Beth White, Marie Stanislaw, Kathleen Kenjarski, and MJ Cartwell, the Burby Family Foundation, the Bremner family, and Chandra Carlson.
Chuck Romer and Friends of Paul Caldwell, Craig, Beth, and Luna Lindsay, the Bedinson family and friends, Adami family and friends, the Shaw family and friends and family of Justin Haggerty, the Von Brock family and friends,
Ellen and Pat Call, Stephanie Murray, and friends and fans of Marshall Murray. Thank you so much to Island
Let's give
families.
them all a round of applause.
These are they. All right.
And our next presenters, our first presenters really, are Lisa Syra and Jennifer Brenner. They are the people who create the delicious fresh food served with love from the Vashon High School kitchen.
Yay!
And students.
Did you hear much the students applauded for them?
I know. Students, they want to know, did you return your plate to the kitchen when you were done with lunch? Okay, first-time presenters, Jennifer and Lisa will start us off tonight with student tributes. Thank you.
Thank you. Our first recipient tonight is Danny Baldinger. Please step forward. Behind a set of drums, at the controls of a plane, on the court playing tennis, or deep into solving a math problem, Danny Baldinger is a talented, driven young man who reaches for his goals with determination and purpose. Danny excels in many activities due to his earnest desire to learn and a commitment to achieving his personal best. Danny is known for being kind, warm, and respectful while staying balanced with all his interests. Aviation is front and center in Danny's future plans, and as is traveling the world and playing music. He made his first solo flight last summer and intends to study to become a professional pilot. Danny Baldinger has been awarded the Ryan Krug Memorial Scholarship in honor of another amazing young athlete and musician, and the Scout Award for his love of flying. Congratulations, Danny.
Over here. Colin Sakura. What stands out in Colin Sakura's application is his description of himself. I am funny, smart, and caring. In his essay, he describes an experience that makes him realize just how much he enjoys being helpful to others, while a friend writes about witnessing his giving nature when he was in kindergarten. His smarts go beyond the books to include social graces and having a witty sense of humor. Colin moves towards his future, intending to study history in college and to eventually becoming a diplomat, and that makes perfect sense. Colin, you are awarded the Vashon Heritage Museum Scholarship for your interest in history and the Scout Award that recognizes a student who is kind, patient, and helpful to others. Thanks, Colin.
Maura Cannon. Please step forward. Looking at Maura Cannon's scholarship application, you get a sense of the fullness of life. There are family and friends of all ages, summers on a farm, loss and healing, a pandemic, yoga and running in the woods, all kinds of art, music and food. And all this beauty can be contemplated while listening to the songs that Maura writes and sings. She's created a full album of them. In her essay, Maura writes about how she values those close connections and being part of a supportive community. After graduation, she plans to take some time to travel and be independent and then go to college. Art and design will be her area of study, and hopefully, she'll make another album. Your spirit is reflected in the Sarah Bremner Scholarship, which honors the life of a young woman who also wrote about connections and keeping humanity a priority. Good luck, Maura. You lead. Oh. Good job.
Louis Schofield. It's an interesting insight into the character when someone states that the most enjoyment they received was from something that they also was most challenged them. Such is the case with Lewis Schofield, who says AP Calculus was the best and most challenging class for him during high school. This seems to be a pattern where Lewis can clearly look back at the challenging times to find the positive outcomes that gained him confidence, resilience, and expanded his horizons. Lewis is known as dedicated, attentive, reliable, curious, and generally a guy you look forward to talking with because he's just that cool of a guy. Lewis, we hope that the Brian Adamy Motorsports Scholarship and the VCSF Venture Far Awards will propel you forward in your dreams to go fast and far. Thank you.
Eliza Pinnock. Eliza Pinnock started realizing their personal challenge with school during COVID-19 when their love for learning started to dim. But in sophomore year, a spark ignited during chemistry class that reminded Eliza that the excitement that came with being curious and learning something new. From that point on, Eliza soaked up all the information in their classes and found fulfillment once again from applying themselves and reaping the benefits of learning. Besides an excellent academic record, Eliza is an avid tennis player, reader, Girls to Girls volunteer, and youth coordinator to the Fauntleroy Church UCC. Eliza is awarded the Sharon Boyer and Extra Mile scholarships. May you keep going that extra mile to satisfy your curiosity and continue a lifetime of learning and discovery.
Okay, Makaya Strom. Scrappy and determined, upbeat and positive. This is Makaya Strom. Since arriving on Vashon a little over a year ago, Makaya has been focusing on her educational goals and utilizing her gumption and grit to stay on track. She has a remarkable ability to be honest and self-aware and to advocate for herself. Makaya's experiences with school have inspired her to pay it forward and become a teacher. She is awarded the Trucello Scholarship as well as the Rochelle Munger and VEA Awards that both honor dedicated Vashon Island teachers. The Sierra Marie Pedrin Linden Award remembers a young woman who was kind, generous, and giving, and the Vashon Island Community Church Inspirational Journey Award recognizes a student like you, Makaya, who faces challenged with hope and perseverance. Congrats, we believe you can get where you want to go.
Amanda Kyle. When Amanda Kiles moved to Vashon Island in middle school, she was afraid of the deep, dark water of Puget Sound. Somehow, after 5 years rowing competitively on that same Puget Sound, she's chosen to pursue a career in marine biology. Her mentor at the Vashon Nature Center says Amanda stands out in a group that includes college interns for her self-discipline, organization, initiative, responsibility, and communication skills. Amanda, you have received the Vashon Island Rowing Club Scholarship for being a passionate yet steady force in the rowing club. You will also receive the Vashon Maury Garden Club's K. White Scholarship in recognition of your dedication to caring for the environment, including the plants growing in that deep, dark sea. Finally, in memory of master plantsman, environmentalist, and beloved inspiration to his grandson, elementary educator Stephen Harvey, you will receive the Frank E. Losornio Memorial Scholarship.
Congratulations. Could I do some, Judd? Could I just do some? scholarship is for Finn Judd. Let me introduce Finn Judd. When something catches Finn's interest, the research begins, and Finn will be exploring questions that haven't been asked yet and that aren't found on any class syllabus. Currently, that list of interests includes psychology, music, ancient and medieval history, anime, and manga. Finn volunteers at the Senior Center, and when he was 12, he ran for unofficial mayor of Vashon because of his interests in politics. Finn describes himself as a quiet, introverted person and has discovered the good medicine that a walk in a forest can provide. I agree. Finn, you are awarded the Trucello Scholarship and the Quest Award, recognizing a student that shows grace and diligence, who sees life as an adventure and is stronger because of past experiences. Adventure on.
Oliver Churchill. Oliver Churchill. Many people say they wear different hats in life. Oliver Churchill prefers to represent his life by the shoes he wears. Boots that help him work for his community, cleats that lead the VHS soccer defensive line, crampons he used to charge up mountains, kayaking booties for whitewater expeditions, and hiking boots to explore off-trail wonders. These adventures have formed Oliver to be well-balanced, dependable, and a joy to be around. His passion for the outdoors is evident in all his pursuits, including starting a landscaping business, restoring wetlands, forests, and shorelines on Vashon, backcountry skiing, and climbing 15 peaks, including Mount Rainier. Oliver, we award you the K. White Garden Club, the Vashon Maury Island Audubon Society, the Vashon Island Soccer Club, and the Zero Waste Vashon Jerry Henley Environmental Scholarships. We can't wait to hear what the height of your future accomplishments.
Okay, Selena. Music has been a driving force of inspiration and constant source of comfort for Selena Bercera. From singing in the choir in elementary school, playing the flute in junior high, to currently learning to play the guitar, music has been her safe refuge. She is an emotional intuitive who admits that she frequently puts the care and well-being of friends and family before herself. Selena's volunteer work with the Teen Council has had a profound impact on her, as well as the students she has mentored. She is planning to major in women's and gender studies, ultimately pursuing a career in midwifery. To help her get started, she has received a scholarship from Granny's Attic and a Spirit of Service Award. Thank you, Selena.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's it.
Let's have a round of applause for our first group of students.
So exciting. All right. So I don't know if maybe some of you do or do not know this, but Vashon High School, and maybe even all the other schools, have a really incredible relationship with the Vashon Island Land Trust Matsuda Farm. And we have this incredible loop on this island of food grown on the island at Matsuda Farm that feeds our school system. And it's just a miracle. And Lisa Syra, I'm calling you out for all your work in this. Thank you so much.
And yeah, that's amazing.
And Jennifer, and all of the crew that does the work there.
Yeah.
Brilliant work.
I think it's a miracle that some of these kids are saying they like calculus and chemistry. And they're not just saying it to make the teachers feel better. They actually mean it. That's amazing. I love hearing these little portraits of each of them. I know.
So a scholarship for every single student, and you heard that, some of them many scholarships that are actually tangible support to go to college or whatever secondary education means, but also just a huge vote of confidence from this community. The scholarships in this next group that we're going to call out are from Vashon businesses, the business community. We'd like to thank Vashon Pharmacies, Tyler and Amy Young, amazing community members: Vashon Thriftway, Fair Isle Animal Clinic, LDM Worldwide Productions.
You're not going to say Enjoy Productions?
That's you.
I know, but that's us.
You want me to
actually.
say
No,
it?
I'm not
It's
going to say
Enjoy
it.
Productions.
That's
That's
fine.
us.
Don't say
That's
it.
us.
And Vashon Engineers, Aspect Consulting, BHC Consultants, Watershed Science and Engineering, Clarity Engineering, Ellisport Engineering, and Endeavor Analysis, Island Home Center and Lumber, Independent Architects of Vashon, and Langland Dental Associates.
We'd also like to thank Vashon Air Service, Pacific Research Labs, which is Sawbones, Puget Sound Cooperative Credit Union, Windermere Real Estate, and John and Beth DeGroen and Sophia Stendhal.
Thank you so much to all these island businesses. It's fantastic. And
there are so many donors left to be named. Amazing.
And for any businesses here or might be watching at home on the interwebs, this is an opportunity for you to check out how incredibly cool it is to create a scholarship, and we encourage you to consider doing that. We're going to tell you about one other scholarship that's been around for quite some time, and it is the Vashon Presbyterian Church Scholarship.
The Vashon Presbyterian Church has been so generous with VCSF over the years, hosting board meetings and our community selection panel, which chooses the recipients for about half the scholarships. This year, the congregation created a new scholarship for a Vashon graduate with interest in a career serving those in need. Could be seniors or people in hospice or mental health care settings. What a blessing that the Presbyterian Church community has chosen to build capacity in our healthcare systems and to reward and encourage young people oriented towards care of others.
So sponsoring a scholarship is one way island organizations can fulfill their mission in the community, and creating a scholarship is also a way our community faces heartbreak. And we're going to talk about a new memorial, which is the Shaunogawa Hillman Memorial Scholarship. Vashon recently lost a beloved member of the VHS class of 2022, Shaunogawa Hillman. Sean was a dear friend in the hearts of his family and his fellow classmates, who are only 1 year post-graduation from VHS. He was dear to the hearts of everyone at the swimming pool and at May Kitchen, where he worked, and at the fire department, where he participated in the Fire Explorers program. Sean's family and all who loved him have created a scholarship in his honor for someone in this year's graduating class who may be propelled on their journey by the enthusiasm that Sean had for his studies in the architectural engineering program at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. What is there to do with all the love we have for someone we've lost, but to share it?
Okay. Next, we're going to bring up a longtime scholarship award presenter, the guy who knows what you looked like in first grade, Chautauqua Elementary's own Lance Morgan. Come on up.
Thank you, thank you. Hi, everybody. And I do remember what you looked like in first grade. I have no idea who you look like now. Strangers. You're total strangers. I hope you guys all appreciate, just before we get started, how emotionally invested we are in everything you guys have become. It's pretty amazing how inspired we are as adults and financially invested as well. So yeah, if a tear gets shed, it's because we are really, really psyched about who you've become. So I'm going to try not to cry. Hasn't worked yet, but we'll see. Beatrice Church, step right up. There is very little that Beatrice Church can't do when she sets her mind to it, taking on life's challenges with remarkable energy and insight. Bea is resilient and inspiring. She is committed to becoming her best self and credits the support of friends who have stayed with her through her journey. Teachers describe Bea as a deep thinker and a writer who uses her insightful abilities to pull diverse ideas into coherent arguments for discussions. She has navigated a serious course load to prepare for a future in behavioral psychology. Bea's ultimate goal is to become a child therapist. She plans to dedicate her intelligence and optimistic energies to the service of others. Bea, you have been rewarded the Vashon Presbyterian Church Scholarship, Career in Healthcare Award, the Lindsay Family Scholarship, Vashon Island Community Church's Inspirational Journey Award, and the Trucello Family Scholarship. Good job, Bea. Thanks. Jack Cummings, who got taller than me somehow. Jack Cummings writes with certainty, "I love the ocean and the mountains more than anything else. Last summer, he had an amazing experience as a volunteer in Thailand doing coral reef restoration. His plan for college is to focus on marine studies and to go to Australia for more conservation work." Jack is in his 5th year as a rower and is this year's co-captain. Rowing has been his place for camaraderie, personal growth, and enjoying nature. Jack, you have the spirit of the Bill Burby Wellness Scholarship that honors the life of a teacher and coach who encouraged his students to believe in themselves. The Vashon Island Rowing Club Scholarship recognizes a rower who has been a leader in the boathouse, just like you have. Go, Jack. Keep thinking I make this font big enough, and I never do. I didn't have readers when you guys were with me. Do I look old? No? Good. All right, Kaylee Radford. They say changing your perspective changes your experience. Kaylee Radford, you changed your perspective on dance. It was a passion you pursued for years. When that shifted, you gained a new perspective. You discovered other ways to be an athlete, move your body, exercise, and practice self-care. In your own words, that helped you grow into a stronger and more confident version of yourself. Kaylee, you have impressed us with your maturity and insight. Those are valuable traits that will surely help you as you begin your study of aerospace engineering, exploring new hobbies and finding new passions. We're sending you on that path with the Sawbones Science and Math Scholarship, the Aviation Technology Award, Griffith Maritime Scholarship, and the Vashon Education Support Personnel Scholarship. Well done, Kaylee, and keep up the hard work. Andrew Martinack. I love some of the words in this one. Andrew Martinack, your scholarship notebook is the very picture of a coherent life, the life of someone who lives with integrity and without unnecessary striving. In middle school, Andrew tasted early entrepreneurial success selling photo cards at the farmer's market depicting Vashon scenery. In high school, he went above and beyond in advanced placement classes and earned a 3.85 GPA. His boss at O Solomio relies on him as an anchor employee. Yet, like Ferdinand the Bull in the children's story, what this powerful young man seeks is a calm life, along with meaningful work, creative and therapeutic art, time with family and friends. In support of this life, he will receive a Thriftway scholarship given to a well-rounded student who has held a job through high school, and a perfect fit second scholarship called the Soulful Balance. Best wishes to you, Andrew. Nice job. Holland Moore. Athletics have always played an important role in Holland Moore's life. Growing up on Vashon, he played baseball, soccer, and was a member of the high school football team for all 4 years. And just that is a testimony to his dedication. That team had seasons where they never won a game, but he stuck it out. He stuck it out, continued to put in the work, became team captain, and things got better. His employer notes that not only is Holland contagiously enthusiastic, he embraces hard work and always puts maximum effort into everything he does. He has the ability to juggle multiple responsibilities, possesses great people skills, and is driven to succeed. When he encounters a challenge, he takes initiative to both troubleshoot and seek guidance if needed. These are all character traits that will ensure his future success as he continues on with the Love of the Game Scholarship. Good job, Holland. Ben Larson. Ben Larson is most definitely the VHS School Spirit Ambassador. After missing the camaraderie of in-person schooling, he threw himself into his senior year, never taking any moment for granted, nor missing an opportunity to fully participate in every activity. A standout athlete this year, he played football, basketball, and lacrosse. One reference notes that Ben is an exceptional student, demonstrating the qualities of grit, teamwork, and all things leadership. Evidence of his exceptionally strong work ethic is illustrated through his successful business of reselling clothing and collectibles online. We know he will have continued success as he pursues his interests in business and real estate with the Betty Edwards B.E. Scholarship. Who was that? Oh, hi, Betty. A Vashon Basketball Club Award and the Loving Every Second Scholarship. Good job, Ben. Oscar Weiss. I didn't have the pleasure of knowing Oscar. We didn't go to Chautauqua, but this is pretty cool. Oscar Weiss writes, "Change is inevitable, but personal growth is a choice." Being resilient to life's challenges is something Oscar has learned to embrace. Moving away from his home and best friends, then enduring a landslide at his new house that left a layer of mud in his room, gave Oscar an appreciation for change and the knowledge that he can rise to a challenge. In a short time, Oscar has made an impression here. He brought humor and gusto to his internship with Vashon Nature Center, and a teacher describes his discipline as a student athlete, adding that he's someone that's fun to run into on campus or in town. Oscar is focusing on his love of science and math, plans to study architecture and medicine, and would like to play football in college. Oscar has been awarded the Architect Award, Building the Future Award, and the Shanagawa Hillman Scholarship, given in honor of a former VHS grad who was passionate about architecture and science. Congratulations, Oscar. Hanifa Kidder. Hanifa, your strength and determination are evident both academically and on the soccer pitch. As a lifelong devotee of the beautiful game, you provide leadership to your team as co-captain, committing your time and energy to daily practices and games while always striving for self-improvement. You have also dealt with the disappointment of soccer-related injuries, and it is a testament to your strength and perseverance that you took the time to reflect, recover, and return to the game a stronger, more confident athlete. As a student, you've excelled in a wide range of classes, and your teachers recognize your strength of character and intellectual abilities. You have worked hard, and it has paid off. Hanifa, tonight we celebrate you with the Sarah Bremner Memorial Scholarship. Congratulations on all your achievements. Eden Lyle. Animals and art. In their own words, Eden Lyle is very invested in art and animal studies, zoology, and paleontology. These are the two things that pique their interest most and what they hope to pursue in college. Eden is introspective as well as observant, learning from a family member's experience that following one's own path may not be the easiest path to take, but it ends up being the best path. They look for work and community service opportunities that are related to animals and art, knowing that this is what will keep them interested and engaged. Eden, because you care so much about the well-being of animals, you are awarded the Vashon Island Pet Protector Scholarship, as well as the Fair Isle Animal Clinic Scholarship for your pursuit of science. Good job, Eden. Our final group member is Leo Nightingale. Since before I can remember, I've been rooted to the earth, writes Leo Nightingale. His experiences in the out-of-doors have shaped the curious, adventurous person he is today. Athlete, scholar, hiker, landscaper, bicyclist. Leo is a versatile and talented individual. He understands the importance of immersing himself in the moment and pushing his intellectual boundaries. A commitment to embracing life's experiences is evident in Leo's headlong pursuit of adventure, both indoors and out, giving his all in everything he does. The road has had a few bumps and tested his mettle, but has always led to meaning, fueling his optimism. As you study the Earth's ecosystems and factors that are creating change, we know that your love of nature will never leave you. Congratulations, you've been awarded the Aaron Burby Strive and Thrive Scholarship in celebration of who you are. Good job, Leo.
Well done. Thank you so much, Lance. Thank you, Betty, for making noise. That was good.
I don't think you cried. Good
I
job.
know.
I know.
No,
It's
amazing.
piece of work.
It's also amazing how many students and families are from off island. Can you make some noise if you're from off island? Look at that.
I know.
It's so
We were
great.
talking this morning about the fortitude of getting your child up early enough to get them to school on time from off island.
But I mean, the
We
whole
salute
island.
you.
All the school so benefits from you guys coming because you have city worldliness, and you guys probably benefit from our weirdness, and so it's a good it's a good combination. Who else funds these scholarships? Island arts organizations and artists themselves.
So we'd like to thank Vashon Island Visual Arts, or VIVA. They're in the room. We'd like to thank you. Open Space for Arts and Community.
Thank you for hosting
where
this
we are
tonight.
residing. Vashon Center for the Arts, Vashon Events, Vashon Island Chorale, Drama Doc. Thank you to the arts community.
Indeed. We have another long-lived, with us for many years, scholarship, which is the Vashon Pride Alliance Scholarship.
Okay, in 1984, Kathy Saffel, her partner Shelley Hibbard, and 4 gay guys started the Vashon Gay Pride Alliance. They don't have names, they're just the 4 gay guys. Their slogan was, come out, wherever you are. They set about being positive role models and giving back to the island they called home. They raised money at an annual New Year's Eve party, chiefly for a scholarship to support students who have shown they understood and celebrate diversity and who are active community builders on the island.
Sue Natros has coordinated fundraising for the last several years. She remembers presenting a scholarship early on to a student who, by chance, had 2 lesbian grandmothers who were excited and encouraged that Vashon was such a welcoming and safe place. 2 years ago, Karen Brubeck, the community engagement rep for Puget Sound Energy, attended the In and Out exhibit at the Vashon Heritage Museum. PSE sponsors Pride event all over the Puget Sound region, and the exhibit inspired her to look into partnering with the Pride Alliance on this scholarship. 2023 is the second year that PSE has contributed a substantial amount for students, which is really awesome.
That is very cool. Next, we welcome one of the original founders of Vashon's physical theater company, Umo Ensemble.
We moved here with her 47 million years ago.
We still celebrate all our holidays with her. And co-founder of Open Space for Arts and Community, where we are gathered right now, Janet McAlpin.
Okay, our first awardee is Phoebe Ray. So this tribute starts with a quote from Phoebe. My mind has always been a busy place, and thus Phoebe Ray draws us into her life as an artist, writer, painter, musician, actor, and filmmaker. Once hobbled by the notion of perfectionism, Phoebe found her creative stride and hasn't looked back. An assignment to write a play overnight and see it performed the next day was one of many exercises in letting go. Her drama teacher applauds Phoebe's inner confidence in knowing that the spirit of invention within her chooses its own time. Phoebe is on her way to find her niche as a filmmaker and as an artist with a voice. Phoebe, listen to your ambitions and learn everything you can. Continue to practice inclusion. Know that you are supported and celebrated by your community with these scholarships: Thespians, Drama Doc, Paul Caldwell Music Award, VCA's Art Hansen Scholarship, Eagles, Vashon Events, and the Marshall Murray Performing Arts Scholarship. Bravo, Phoebe. Ariana Spradlin. When Ariana Spradlin puts her mind to something, she shines. Ariana has put years into Taekwondo and scouting. Ariana's leadership skills carried her Taekwondo training to a new level for herself and her school. Earning her black belt speaks to her commitment and skill. She has been a member of the Girl Scouts since she was in kindergarten and joined Boy Scouts of America 5 years ago when they first included girls in the program. Through scouting, Ariana has backpacked, hiked daily, and performed community service. When Ariana lets her passions motivate and guide her, she can draw upon her courage and confidence to succeed outside her comfort zone. She will take a gap year before pursuing a degree in psychology. Ariana, you have been awarded the Vashon Pride Scholarship for your leadership and courage. Keep shining, Ariana. Benjamin Cox. Benjamin Cox's notebook speaks volumes about his commitment to hard work, always doing one's best, and a focus on self-improvement. Ben, your extraordinary work ethic is enhanced by your genuinely kind and warm-hearted nature. We see these attributes as you work in the family business selling art around the Northwest at fairs and markets, as well as your volunteer role at VIPP, where you developed a special bond with the felines, giving them the care and love they needed as they transitioned to a new environment. You believe that if you put in hard work and don't lose focus on what you really want, you can achieve success. This attitude will go far to help you attain your goal of earning a degree in mechanical engineering. You have been awarded the VCSF Focus on the Future Scholarship. Congratulations. Hayden Rosen. Meet the accomplished media maker, Hayden Rosen. Hayden has made the most of his time on this island community, coxing the crew on Quartermaster Harbor, skateboarding, mountain biking, and hiking, and taking full advantage of VHS's career and technical education program, bringing a strong work ethic and committed curiosity to his 3 years in video production classes. His mentors assert that he has a rare trifecta, high in demand in the technology field: a keen design sense, technical chops, and the social skills to lead, delegate, and follow, and collaborate. Hayden, you are receiving a Future by Design Award, which goes to students starting out their design careers with an impressive body of work, ready to explore where their education takes them. Congratulations to you. Nat Faucett Long. Here are a few words to describe Nat Faucett Long: creative, mentor, leader, experimenter, volunteer, thoughtful, self-starter. We think Nat is defined not by the boxes they check on an application, but by all these many talents they bring to this community and the world. Nat is a creative force in the community, freely sharing their jewelry design, cosplay talents, and culinary skills. Nat plans to complete a culinary and pastry program at Seattle Central. Nat, you have been awarded the Extra Mile and Pride Scholarships for your unique contribution of talents, a combination of talents and skills. Bravo and best of luck to you. Hatcher Frida. Hatcher, also known as Hattie, faces the future with optimism and confidence. His friends are many and loyal, ready to join him in a tennis match or a day on the slopes, a bike ride, or a dinner for family and friends. He's a formidable tennis player who credits his tennis game for teaching him discipline and follow-through. Hatcher credits baking for teaching him how to pay attention to details, to cope with the many things that can go wrong, and make them right. He experiences food as a way to connect with people, to share stories, and to learn from each other. Hatcher, you are a leader as well as a team player. You bring the spirit of celebration into your work and play, and you are always up for adventure. Honoring your determination to share this good life with others, the Rotary Club honors you with the Rotary Scholarship. Congratulations. Sierra Matthias. How does having a knack for puzzles and trivia translate into a career path? Ask Sierra. Sierra grew up loving puzzles and dominating family trivia games. This helped her develop her interest in murder mysteries and crime, the ability to recognize complex patterns, and a wicked memory for detail. Mix this up with family members who work in criminal justice and their frequent legal debates. Now, we have the special recipe for Sierra's interest in crime and the details of how and why they are committed. It goes even deeper. Sierra wants to make a difference in the world. She hopes to help people from behind the scenes and make sure families get the justice they deserve. Sierra, studying forensic psychology with the hopes of becoming a crime analyst, will keep you challenged with puzzles while constantly testing your knowledge and skills. For these reasons, you are being awarded the Seeking Justice Award. Congratulations. We're rooting for you. Isabella Bezonic. Did I get it? I got it right. Thank you. I'm so thrilled I'm going to say it again. Hands down, Isabella Bezonic will bring unique perspective and a lot of empathy to the bedside of her future medical patients. From her first-hand, lifelong experiences, she has traveled a long road, both for medical treatments and as a commuter to VHS, and is known to be determined, tenacious, and exceedingly funny. She wants to head into the field of nursing and give back some of the excellent care she has received. Izzy will no doubt bring her great sense of humor along for the ride, and that will surely be appreciated. Her advisor says, anyone who has the opportunity to know Izzy becomes a better person just by being in her company. Izzy, you have been selected to receive the Trucello Family Award and the Career and Healthcare Scholarship. They recognize your strength of character and will help you pursue your goal of becoming a certified nurse anesthetist. Good luck. Ari Officer. Two different teachers in two different letters of recommendation emphasized Ari Officer's ability to make others feel seen and comfortable. They say, everyone is welcomed in Ari's world and welcome to be themselves. Ari's innate wisdom and generous spirit brings a lovely humanity to all of his interactions. The list of clubs that Ari participated in at VHS reveal an advocate, a leader, a thespian, and a singer. When students returned to in-person school, Ari became the president of the theater club. Performing in A Midsummer Night's Dream gave Ari the opportunity to finally play Puck, a dream role. Ari enjoys crochet and writing and plans to pursue a teaching career. Ari, tonight you are receiving 3 scholarships, the Trucello Award, the Thespians Award, and the Marshall Murray Performing Arts Scholarship that honors the life and career of a beloved actor. Congratulations, Ari. Grant Jones. The mentors at Student Link, Vashon's alternative education program, have this to say about Grant. Grant Jones exemplifies the spirit of independent learning. Grant dove deep and swam wide as a lover of literature, especially fantasy and science fiction. He's also a musician and builder of digital music tools and a jewelry and leather artisan. The leatherwork in Grant's scholarship notebook was captivating. Grant will continue to further down the path of music theory and digital tools development in order to produce music for film and video games, with an eye toward helping others achieve their creative vision. To support your vision, Grant, you have received 3 scholarships offered by industry veterans on Vashon: the Paul Caldwell Music Award, the Peter Brookus Memorial Music Award, and Open Spaces Out Loud Award. We wish you many fruitful creative partnerships. Congratulations. Thank you all.
Good work. Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay, we need to tell you about some more families who are offering scholarships to VHS grads this year.
Family and friends of Phil Volker, the Friday Ladies Coffee Group, the Munger family and friends of Rochelle, Aaron Burby's VHS class family, friends and colleagues, George and Lois Meng,
Jerry and Sarah Matthews, Lynn Holly, Edie Linden, family and friends of Ryan Krug, the family, friends, and colleagues of Wayne Holt, and the friends and fans of Dr. Gary Koch.
friends of Sharon Boyer, Kit Bradley and Stormy Friday, Mary and Tom Langland, and Mark and Laura Hansen, and the Jovanovich family. So we're going to tell you about a couple more scholarships right now, and I hope you get to hear, like, these are so fun because they're the specifics of what are getting matched up with these students' interests. This new memorial is the Christine Jovanovich Legacy Scholarship.
We are introducing a scholarship that honors Christine this evening, a legacy of love, kindness, and service. Chris was a longtime practitioner of home health care, a driving force behind the creation of Vashon Care Closet and an entire network of home care aides on the island. This scholarship, created by her family and dear friends and colleagues, will be given to a student who has altruistic drive to help and support those in the community like she did, strengthening their community through acts of service, compassion, and generosity. Chris is deeply missed. Her legacy lives on in the many lives she has touched and those who can feel called to this work. So there's one other new scholarship that we want to tell you about, which is the Art Saves Lives Scholarship from Enjoy Productions. And I know we have notes about this.
Right
You've
here.
got something good.
All right.
All right, let's get it.
The Art Saves Lives Scholarship from Enjoy will go to support a student in their pursuit of creativity and imagination as they proceed into their career path. As island artists who have developed professional careers in the creative fields, we want to encourage an island youth to fearlessly follow their heart and art for the benefit of the world.
Nicely done. Our next presenter is Frank Sinatra. No, that can't be right. Oh, but he looks like him and he sings like him with a Portage fill, and he's a beloved friend of so many people in the room, and Spanish teacher Lou Mangione.
Woo-hoo! Woo-hoo!
Good evening, everyone. Here we go. Lauren Wallace. I love how these make everything 64-point font. Where art and science come together is where Lauren Wallace aspires to be. Like when Lauren painted a dazzling and colorful science mural for the robotics classroom at a middle school in Port Orchard. Lauren has deep compassion and awareness for human, animal, and environmental needs. Lauren is able to focus on issues ranging from macro to micro, from the concerns of the world and environment to strong family and personal connections. Lauren's counselor think that scientific research and application will definitely be a part of Lauren's career. Lauren is never seen without either a sketch pad or iPad. I still have beautiful works of art that Lauren created for me when she was a student in my Spanish classes. She is passionate about drawing and also enjoys writing and poetry. Lauren intends to study art and science after school. Lauren, tonight you are awarded the Trusello Award and the Amy Dubin Scholarship honoring a well-loved VHS art teacher given to a student that plans to pursue a degree in the arts. We can't wait to see how you combine your two worlds. Eva Kane. On the cusp of graduation, Eva Kane realizes that the island has been good to her, but also that it's time to take the leap and discover what's out there. Wherever she goes, memories of growing up on Vashon will inform her identity. Her close friends, singing, writing music, playing guitar, rowing, and Norwegian pancakes with blueberry jam and sour cream and bacon. Family is important to Eva, and her mother is a window into the reserved, self-sufficient people of Norway. Eva tackled the pandemic with her own Nordic grit. During isolation, she focused on improving her rowing technique and gained strength and self-confidence. Eva's future plan to spend time in Norway learning about the music and culture sounds uniquely suited to this strong-willed young woman. She also earned the Washington State Seal of Biliteracy in Spanish this year and is now an official polyglot. Eva's incredibly versatile, multi-talented, and wicked smart. I was honored to be asked by Eva to write her letter of recommendation, and with all of Eva's attributes and accomplishments, it was nearly impossible to keep it condensed to one page. Her interests are honored by the Le Beaumont Scholarship, as well as the Vashon Island Rowing Club Award. Absolutely excellent, Eva. Blake Denher. Blake Denner, the Scholarship Selection Committee could give you a hard time tonight for not including anything from your advanced placement studio art portfolio in your notebook. Because the presentation on the page devoted to food and cooking was definitely an artistic masterpiece. Greens and mushrooms simmering in broth, caprese salad with tomatoes of various sizes and hues, drizzled with olive oil, sushi rolls belted with nori, sauced with glossy ribbons. We've taken so much time with food, we must not forget to cram into these next few seconds that your calculus teacher says your problem solutions are just as elegant as they are analytical, and that your love and care for your friends is easy and evident. Apparently, you also went to Spain with your family and were indispensable when communication in Spanish was often needed. It would have been nice to hear this in my Spanish class, but no, I heard it from your mom in Thriftway. Blake, you are receiving the Future by Design Award and the Patricia Britz Memorial Scholarship for your caring spirit and impeccable talents in design and science. Sean Clinkham. Sean Clinkham is driven by his innate curiosity to take the rigorous courses, ask the tough questions, and respect what we know and what we don't know. He is not afraid to ask questions. Furthermore, Sean knows what he wants out of his education, and he pays attention to what matters most to him. Learning matters. Teaching swimming to children matters. Making and sharing music matters. Finding what's around the next corner matters. Being bilingual in Spanish matters. It's all food for thought. Sean seeks challenge and reaches out to find new experiences, intellectual, social, and artistic. Sean is a deep and critical thinker whose passion for music informs his understanding of complex mathematical concepts. A career in bioengineering, regenerative medicine, and composing original scores for film would suit this brilliant and clever young man. He's receiving awards from the Beardsley Family Sawbones. Good job, Sean. Gianpaolo Kuzma. There is a sneakerhead in the house. His daily routine is to scroll through sneaker shopping websites, checking out the designs. When he's in a crowd, he's checking out people's shoes. He studies designers, inspired by the philosophy and accomplishments. With this passion for sneakers and a curiosity for all things designed and created, Gianpaolo Kuzma, or GP, as he is more widely known, is forging a path into his future. GP has made an impression upon his employer and his teachers for being motivated and determined to accomplish his dreams, and for being compassionate and kind. Gianpaolo has very quiet and clever humor that demonstrates complex understanding of connections. He plans to go to college to study industrial design and is grateful for the support from his family, immediate and extended. GP, you are the recipient of the Trucello Award and the Art Saves Lives Scholarship, given with the encouragement to follow your heart. Isabella Lynn Rodriguez Miller. Isabella Lynn, a mentor, described you as a talented aerial performer, a dedicated learner, and a reliable and capable teacher. You have been an indispensable part of UMO, School of Physical Arts, since you first started taking classes in the 5th grade. Though you found the training challenging and initially your progress was slow, you would not be discouraged. Because of your hard work, dedication, and perseverance, your skills advanced and your involvement with UMO evolved into both performance and at professional aerial shows and teaching multiple classes for the next generation of young acrobats from ages 5 to 15. Isabel, your notebook reveals someone who is curious, attentive, thoughtful and kind, self-assured, focused, and eager to learn. This winning combination will serve you well as you launch into the next exciting phase of your life. You are awarded the VCSF Academic Excellence and the VCSF Venture FAR Scholarships. Congratulations. Maria Guerrero Rivas. Maria Guerrero Rivas, your notebook speaks of your strong ties to community and family. You write about being a first-generation American of Latin American heritage. Your pride for your culture and commitment to the Latino community is evident in the work you have done with Comunidad Latina de Vashon. As a youth leader, you volunteered to lead projects, bravely accepted new challenges, and set a positive example for youth and adults alike with your sunny disposition and can-do attitude. You have also enthusiastically accepted the challenge of being the first member of your family to go to university, knowing that the journey may be fraught with unexpected obstacles. However, you also know that as you navigate these uncharted waters, you will be able to use the knowledge and experience gained to help your younger siblings pursue their own dreams. Maria, you have earned the Thriftway Lindsay Family and Christine Jovanovich Legacy Scholarships. Congratulations. Julian Tuman. Julian Tuman says, I try my best to be nice and respectful to everyone. Indeed, his teachers agree and appreciate how Julian makes an effort to be a young man with integrity. He's an athlete with success in football, basketball, and golf. He says making the varsity basketball team was a huge accomplishment, and I love the game. But one of the best decisions I have made in my life so far was to return to Vashon High School after putting up with the COVID era and trying something new in the way of schools. I realized how much this island has to offer, not only sports, but an amazing school and community. I was welcomed back into the open arms of VHS. No one was happier than I was. Julian, it was a win for everyone. Congratulations, you are receiving the Love of the Game Award and the Basketball Award. Before presenting the last scholarship, I need to introduce the presenter, actually. Vashon Community Scholarship Foundation presents its Making a Difference Now award each year to a person or organization that improves Vashon's quality of life, champions humanitarian principles, and demonstrates their deep faith in the human spirit. VCSF invites the honorees to join us in awarding a scholarship to a student who exemplifies those same values. The scholarship is funded by members of the Vashon community who donate to VCSF's general fund. Fun fact, around 10% of our scholarships each year are funded through this community pool. In recognition of decades of positive impact, this year's award goes to Vashon Partners in Education, also known as PI. PI has our deepest respect as a fellow all-volunteer island organization dedicated to educators and students. Tonight, we welcome PI board member Phyllis Davis to tell us a bit about PI and help us present the scholarship.
Thank you. Partners in Education is honored that this Scholarship Foundation has selected us to present the Making a Difference Now Award. We hope that Partners in Education has also made a difference in the last 35 years. Many of you may know about PI from the brochure that you get in the mail or our annual phone-a-thon. You may also have witnessed some of our grants in action, but you may not know how it all started. In the late 1980s, a group of teachers, parents, and local leaders held an island-wide meeting to discuss the lack of school funding. Obviously, cuts in the state budget and smaller district budgets is still a problem. PI was an outgrowth of that meeting. Our mission is to give innovative and creative materials and programs to the schools when they are not able to be funded by the local school district budget. In 1987, we had our first mini phone-a-thon. It consisted of the PI board members calling their friends, asking them for donations. That year, we were able to raise $3,400, and we were able to fund 14 grants. Since then, we've raised $1.8 million and have been able to fund over 1,600 grants. Thank you. We have been able to impact every grade level, every course of study at Chautauqua, McMurray, Vashon High School, as well as Student Link and Family Link. We have been a facilitator of the island's passion for quality education, and we hope that over the last 35 years, we have been able to make a difference. I'd like to call up Aiden Green. His teachers cite him as a magnet for energy, enthusiasm, and diligence. He brings levity to the room and is constantly looking for ways to contribute to the well-being of others. Through his leadership, Aiden demonstrates authenticity, compassion, and a love of life. He brings his work ethic and definition of team to every arena, the classroom, the playing field, and peer discussions. Aiden is that rare student, his teachers write, who can argue forcibly about his point of view, but is equally capable of having his mind changed after a meaningful discussion. You have been chosen, Aiden, to receive the Patricia Britz Scholarship, the Justin Haggerty Memorial Scholarship, the Pura Vida Award, and Making a Difference Now Award. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Good job. Well done. Amazing.
Wow. Everybody, stand up. Just for a second.
Just for a second, yeah, so
Stretch
your
your
feet
body
don't
for
swell. Here we go.
It's a long
don't
and
have to.
joyous process.
If you want to keep sitting,
the body
you're
can
totally
be stiff.
welcome to
Yeah,
it's
you
fine.
don't have to stand up.
Thank
We just
you.
thought you might appreciate a moment of a little stretch. All right.
Great. You can sit down. I'm sorry. Thank you. That was
So we're gonna read out some more of the donors because, in fact, to do this, it takes an island. Island nonprofits and community organizations are steadfast supporters of higher education and training for Vashon grads, and we'd like to thank
Vashon Rotary Foundation, Vashon Senior Center, Voice of Vashon, who's helping with us tonight, the Vashon Eagles,
Vashon Pride Alliance, Granny's Attic, Vashon Maury Island Garden Club, and the Rotary.
These organizations represent the work of hundreds of islanders and still more that support their work in the community, and it's quite incredible how they show up here. And we have another new scholarship that we want to tell you about.
This is the Mellon Robinson Blue Sky Scholarships. Longtime Islanders Rick Mellon and Joe Robinson are honoring graduating seniors who have achieved a high level of academic excellence and express a desire to positively impact the world around them, especially in the areas of healthcare, science, and the environment, with 4 generous scholarships this year. We'd like to welcome Rick and Joe and thank you for your vision.
And
so great.
Rick and Joe, are you in the house?
Yes,
Yes,
thank you
you guys so much for everything you're doing.
All right, something old, something new. What about an old scholarship?
Well, it's not that old.
Okay, not that old.
Don't call Tom
okay,
old. He won't
no,
like that.
it's not that old. The story of Vashon Pharmacy Scholarship and the Young Entrepreneur Award.
In the late 1980s, several flagship Vashon businesses signed on to sponsor scholarships, including Vashon Pharmacy. Tom Langland and Dave Willingham sold the business to Tyler and Amy in 2017 and exerted a neighborly pressure on the new owners to continue the scholarship as part of the deal. The Youngs were actually so enthusiastic about supporting local grads, they created a second one, the Young Entrepreneur Award. Tyler and Amy have always dreamed of owning their own business. They received scholarships from themselves for school, and they are delighted that their thriving business allows them to encourage others' entrepreneurial and healthcare industry dreams.
And I just need to take a moment with all of you to honor Tyler and all of Vashon Pharmacy for everything they did over the last 4 years. They are unbelievable members of this community. And I got to watch up close and personal as Tyler arrived every single morning with his kids sometimes in the car to get all of the vaccinations ready. This has been an amazing effort, and we thank you.
And Tom and Dave, thanks for setting up such a fantastic example
All right,
in that
are we ready
organization.
for the
Yes.
next group of students?
And our next presenter, father of Katie, mentor to young sailors on Vashon Island, our dear Veteran Awards presenter. Please welcome Jeff Shaw.
I promise I won't cry. Although seeing Betty Edwards over here kind of brought it out in me just a little bit. Good evening. By the way, my wife Dolly is with me this evening, and we would like to honor all of you in the class of 2023. And in doing so, we're honoring the lives of our daughter Katie, class of 2010, and Ryan Krug, class of 2014, both proud pirates who left their mark on our community and the world. So let's get started. Myra Butler. Myra, you are receiving both the Katie Shaw and the Ryan Krug scholarships. And thank you for your extraordinary efforts with Guide Dogs for the Blind. Your essay clearly expressed your love you had for Kakoa and the commitment you made to raising a dog that would eventually go on to help someone in need. We admire your work with Girls to Girls and your willingness to reach out to others, and knowing that you have the ability to change and enrich their lives is a lesson you'll carry with you for the rest of your life. You're making a difference in our world. Maura, you have a wide range of abilities and interests: soccer, tennis, backpacking, languages, and an artistic interest in fiber arts. I'm not sure what that is, but let's see it someday. Your work in the veterinary clinic, I'm sure, furthered your love for animals. Ms. Ramirez said, you do everything not to earn recognition, but because you simply have a heart of gold, and that is filled by giving to others. It's quite a compliment. Finally, we admire your interest in medicine and considering medical school. We haven't had to look far over the past few years to see the contribution of our medical community. We encourage you to achieve that goal and to continue to make a difference. We thank you and wish you a wonderful future. Congratulations. Jessica Levine. Jessica, you're also receiving the Katie Shaw Scholarship and the Giraffe Scholarship, which is for a young woman who sticks her neck out. I have to say that you have a wonderful breadth of interests and activities that have kept you pretty busy over the past 4 years. You're the ASB co-president, debate team, co-founder of the Fruit for Thought podcast to stay connected during COVID, tennis, skiing, hiking, camping, biking, sailing, and the list goes on, all while maintaining a 4.0. Not bad. And you still found time to volunteer as a tutor for the High Point Community Center Youth Program. Jessica, your essay on your personal religious freedom was outstanding. Your work with Girls to Girls, which included a trip to Kenya to assess the needs and to connect with the students there, resulted in a shift of how to strengthen the program as a partnership. Mary Margaret Welsh, the executive director, said that you are the heart and soul of Girls to Girls, and that your passion inspires your peers and makes a difference. It's clear that you see existing structures and barriers as opportunity. Integrate this into your future, and it guarantees you'll continue to make a positive impact. Stay curious, seek to understand, will always bring focus and inform your decisions. Soon you'll be off to college, and when asked about continuing your education, you left the what you wanted to do a little bit vague. However, instead, you gave us a roadmap of how you would like to explore your future learning. It was brilliant. And we believe that you have an extraordinary future. Congratulations, Jessica. We're going to do a twofer here. Danny Boyle and Isaac Danielson, get up here, both of you. Danny, you're receiving Katie's scholarship and the Norm Matthews Scholarship. Isaac, you're receiving Katie's scholarship, a Rotary Scholarship, and the Adam Smith Award. We're not talking merit badges here, guys. This is a buffet of scholarships. My wife and I have a tremendous respect for both of you and your work ethic, your endless energy, and your commitment to excellence. Danny, you've been very busy. Soccer, tennis, bodybuilding, skiing, canoeing, hiking, it goes on. And a few other activities that make me want to be on your team. For instance, axe throwing. Yeah. Isaac, you've been busy too with baseball, backpacking, skiing, water sport. It's the same list. I have no idea where you found time to get a 4-point. Nikki Wilkes said you were 1 in a 10,000 applicant. He went on to say that you could be 1 in a million, but he couldn't speak from experience yet. and he prefers to be accurate, as you are the exacting type. Love it. Now the obvious reason why I'm talking to you both at once. Earning the rank of Eagle Scout is an accomplishment of which you should both be extremely proud. Your personal growth you gained through achieving this award will be with you for the rest of your lives. You'll never forget the 12 points of the Scout Law. And although I could prove it, we just did over in line. I wanted them to know that I could still say it after nearly 60 years. But I'm going to go off script here just for a minute and tell you a story. This is not quite 30 years ago, but my wife and our children were being picked up at the airport by me with another woman and her kids. Being picked up by her father. It was very late at night. He was close to 80 years old. And this woman told her dad, said, Tyler is a Boy Scout. And he stood up straight as heck and recited the 12 points of the Scout Law at 80 years old, and then followed up and said, Tyler, being an Eagle Scout was the most important thing I've ever done in my life. It's not as if this man lacked accomplishments. He was the co-founder of Safeco Life Insurance. So, where do we go? You've learned the 12 points. They've become part of your character. Now, the greatest challenge and reward is in front of you, living them every day. In the fall, you're both off to college. Danny, am I right? You've been accepted at Washington State, Oregon State, Montana State, University of Oregon, and others. Is that right? I want you to know I am not biased. And Isaac, you didn't have a choice. You may be a little closer, but I want you to know they have a great business school, and it fits beautifully with your goal of getting a degree in finance. We know the next steps in your educations, wherever you go, will be filled with great accomplishments. We wish you both the best, and congratulations. In Husky country, you got to be a little careful. Camden, Adair. Perfect. Camden, you are a self-described hyper-energetic person, and you enjoy spending time in the great outdoors, earning volunteer hours working with the Vashon Nature Center. You are a committed and a driven student, and you attack projects with diligence. Your math teacher describes you as kind, intelligent, self-aware, and grounded. But perhaps most importantly, you readily accept challenges and you never give up. Another teacher notes that your superpower is your high level of sensitivity and receptiveness to people and animals, while also possessing the admirable qualities of patience and perseverance. These characteristics will stand you in good stead as you continue your education in environmental sciences with the Trusello Award and the Geraldine Spring and Frederick E. Lasornio Memorial Scholarships. Congratulations. Olivia Sherman. All right. Olivia, your family apparently has had a presence on this island for quite some time. I guess it was written here since it was first settled. You are the most recent member to graduate from the high school following many generations before you. You enjoy spending time outdoors and helping on the busy family farm. Your advisor notes that you grasp new concepts quickly and that your passion for self-driven learning has led you down many diverse paths. You've written poetry in the classical 19th century style. You are an accomplished visual artist and writer. And just for something different and possibly a little bit of fun, you've been teaching yourself Dutch. You're a curious and creative student with interest in pursuing a career as an age educator. Those kids will be very lucky. We are certain you'll make good use of a Trucello Award and the Spirit of Service Scholarship. Congratulations. William Weber. Yeah. Just looking at you, now I get the athletic part they wrote about. William, you're a reliable teammate and co-worker and a capable, hard-working athlete. You know the talent only gets you so far. You learned this through diligent study at 3 different baseball academies and on the varsity baseball, football, and basketball teams. You apply this work ethic and mentor seeking in hands-on work at Ingalls Auto Shop and in construction with a local contractor. You are also an attentive and kind mentor and coach to younger athletes. In thanks, with appreciation from the Vashon baseball community, you're receiving the Vashon Youth Baseball and Softball Scholarship for your work on and off the diamond, as well as the Vashon Community Scholarship Foundation's Love of the Game Award. William, you have a lot of fans cheering you on, and we wish you the very best. Congratulations. Thank you. Saffron Hintz. Saffron, you're the top swimmer, lead swim instructor, lead lifeguard, and you've been part of the Vashon Pool community since you were 11. You are the quintessential life at the pool expert. As an employee of the Vashon Community Pool and Vashon SEALs, you've been the person who watches out for others and gets things done. Your empathy, dedication, and work ethic have made you a beloved mentor for your younger students. These qualities also made you a force in your school community. You have learned the importance of finding your voice and becoming an advocate through your leadership in the Racial Equity PAC, Sisterhood, and National Honor Society. You hope to continue swimming while pursuing your dream of joining the medical field, specializing in dermatology. For these reasons, Saffron, you've been awarded the Mellon Robinson Blue Sky and the Vashon Pharmacy Scholarships. Congratulations. Marin McLean. Marin, your description of growing up on Vashon shows a deep gratitude in your heart for our island community and the opportunities you've had here for unique learning, for your family, and for adventures on Puget Sound. You also have an eagerness to expand your perspective and learn from other communities. When you were 15, you organized your own solo study abroad trip to Cusco, Peru. You spent a month meeting Peruvians and volunteers with different backgrounds and perspectives. At the end, you concluded that, quote, listening to different points of view, especially if I disagreed, end quote, was the key and the secret ingredient to making a community strong. This is exactly what we need in our country today. Marin, we award you the Mellon Robinson Blue Sky Scholarship to keep you to move forward in your future community building and successful environmental science career. Thank you. Moses Trundle Strachan. Moses, you know the value of competition. You credit your competitive nature for your academic success and for your athletic achievements. Soccer, computers, and business are important to you, but you also appreciate the wonders of the natural world. You write about trees, those titans of green, your reserved friends of the forest. In observation, you find a reflection of your own life and how unlikely things fit together in this environment of beautiful chaos. Moses, you view your future with high hopes of continuing to play soccer and pursue a profession in business and economics that continues to bring meaning to your life. You want a life of challenge and change with plenty of opportunities to be a leader. May these scholarships from Island Lumber, Adam Smith, and the Young Entrepreneur help pave your way. Go forth, Moses. Congratulations. Congratulations to all of you. Yeah.
I got to say, parents of all the kids that have gone so far, parents and guardians, and parents of all the kids and who are going to come, you done good. And I think it merits having all the kids give a huge round of applause for their parents and guardians this evening, because they've done amazing. All right.
All right, let's recognize the Island education and advocacy organizations that sponsor scholarships for the Vashon High School seniors. We'd like to start with Vashon Educational Support Personnel, or VESP, Vashon Education Association, the Harbor School Board of Trustees, PEO Chapter GW, and Andy James and the VHS Thespian Troupe.
The VHS Equity Team, Creative Preschool, Zero Waste Vashon, and the Vashon Maury Audubon Society.
The Journeymen, Vashon Heritage Museum, Vashon Island Pet Protectors, Vashon Wilderness Program.
And to all these nonprofits and all the others who are sponsoring and will sponsor in the future, thank you so much. You guys do great work.
Yeah.
How about another new scholarship?
All right, this is called the Wild Isle Award. Vashon Wilderness Program and friends are getting into the action at this year's scholarship ceremony. We're so happy to help VWP fulfill their mission on this island. Their Wild Isle Award will go to Vashon grads who are passionate about the wild world and are interested in engaging in the work of reciprocal restoration between people and place through the avenues of education, activism, healing, and or the creative arts in service of our earthly community.
And before we introduce our next presenter, I think you wanted to make a comment?
Just that the next presenter does an amazing thing at the beginning of every year. She's the bilingual coordinator for the entire school district, and I found out running with my running partner this morning that she goes to every single family and makes sure that they are oriented, that they understand how to get the translations to work on their machines, that they know all of the information they need to know, person by person, family by family. That is what this island is about, and it was just so beautiful to me. I wanted to call her out for it.
So as Family Engagement Coordinator for the Vashon School District, she offers support for multilingual students and families. We are honored to welcome first-time presenter Nidia Saugun.
Whew. Thank you. Let's get started. Theodore Hanna. Theodore Hanna is an independent learner, a self-taught pianist and composer. For Theo, music is a source of inner strength. Even when challenged with difficult times, Theo remains utterly positive, earnest, and hopeful. Theo is respected for the way he chooses to live, meeting his own challenges with grit and grace, while advocating for others. It was a well-earned honor for Theo to be chosen as student representative for the district's Student Advisory Board. He will listen with empathy and offer valuable insights, along with music. Theo loves hiking and finds time spent in nature important and inspiring. Theodore already knows a lot about life and is eager to study psychology at Evergreen College, where he looks forward to having a hand in shaping his college experience. Theo, you are the recipient of scholarships from the Trusello family, Vashon Island Chorale, Paul Caldwell Music, and Vashon Events. Ella McMillan. E.B. White once wrote to a friend, "Hang on to your hat, hang on to your hope, and wind the clock, for tomorrow is another day." In her short time, Ella McMillan has experienced more than her share of struggles, and yet she has found her way through and seems to have made the most of it at every turn. Paying attention to self-care, journaling, painting, and crafting, all paired with academic excellence, are her traits and talents she shares with her community. By her teacher's word, she is full of good and has a big heart. She is passionate about being a voice for people who need it. We award Ella with the Tresello Family and VCSF Inspiration Awards to help in her amazing journey. We look forward to hearing about future Ella and her many accomplishments. Congratulations. Enrique Delzer. A filmmaker takes a script and turns it into a writing story. Enrique Delzer possesses the artistic talent and vision to set this very process in motion. Enrique's profile is many things. Adept at characterization and dialogue, he excels in creating the complex worlds he uses in films. When Conscious Cartoons Animated Film Festival awarded an honorable mention to his 2018 film, Enrique submitted it to multiple other festivals where it received several awards and was translated into Spanish for a fiesta in Colombia. Enrique is so brimming with creativity that he is constantly exploring new outlets for it, from songwriting and coding to his unique sense of personal style, writes a mentor. Enrique aspires to create meaningful and expressive art through film, video games, and music. His focus in college will be studies in visual arts and business. Congratulations, Enrique. You have been awarded the Vashon Island Visual Artist Scholarship, the Burton Community Church Scholarship, and the Joel Veach Memorial Scholarship. Muchas felicidades. Margaret Maisie Long. Maisie Long is an academically successful student who participates in and helps lead multiple clubs, does extensive community service, and has been active on the tennis team throughout high school. And she commutes from West Seattle. You have to wonder if she only sleeps on the weekends. A teacher wrote one of the nicest comments saying, Maisie can do everything. Her dedication and hard work are delivered with genuine compassion and a clear desire to contribute to her school community. She makes VHS better, and that is one reason she is receiving the Extra Mile Award. In addition, the women's group of the Vashon Island Golf and Country Club wishes to honor Maisie with a brand new scholarship to recognize her activities on the tennis court. Congratulations, Maisie. Matthew Guevara Mercado. Skateboarding has been a character-building exercise for Matthew. Matthew Guevara Mercado. He's passionate about the sport, which for him goes far beyond performing a jump or kickflip. Skateboarding has taught Matthew to love learning new things and has given him the patience to persevere when frustrated. He wisely learned to trust the process. Besides skateboarding, Matthew hustles to find and create work. He works at Thriftway, paints houses, does landscaping and yard work, dog sit, and washes neighbors' cars on the side. Muy trabajador. His motivation and determination keep Matthew moving forward. Matthew is interested in gaining a forklift license, studying electrical engineering, and helping with his dad's house painting company. Matthew Guevara Mercado will receive the Mark T. Vornark Scholarship for the Advancement of the Skilled Trades. Muchas felicidades, Matthew. Estamos muy orgullosos de ti. Grace Smith. The pandemic forced change in every student's life. In Grace Smith's life, that included going from 1 to 100 plants in her room. This allowed her to observe plant growth and be a caretaker. It also gave her a sense of hope. Grace is artistic, kind, and mature beyond her years. She puts her energy into activities like the Green Team and Racial Equity Pact, and into jobs as camp counselor, growing plants for a commercial nursery, and working at the pharmacy. She looks forward to studying environmental science and learning how she can help improve the world. Grace, your compassion and action are already making our world better. The Zero Waste Vashon Jerry Henley Environmental Scholarship and the Vashon Wilderness Program Wild Isle Scholarship are sure to help inspire your journey. Congratulations. Tessa Snowden. Tessa Snowden, although adjusting to new situations may not always come easily to you, you haven't shied away from getting involved in both the island and school communities, doing everything from volunteering at VIP to joining the Racial Equity Pact to even co-leading French Club and the cheer team. This courage, commitment, and drive to engage with your community will serve you well in your desired career in social work, a career for which you are uniquely suited, given your natural empathy and fierce love for those close to you. A former employer of yours wrote that wherever Tessa Snowden goes, she will bring her light, in it wisdom, caring, attention to detail, and frankly, love. Tessa leads with love. To help you on your journey, you have been awarded the Granny's Attic and Senior Center scholarships. Congratulations, Tessa. Ava Stevenson. Ava Stevenson is known as a smart, creative, thoughtful student and friend who can brighten any situation with humor. To quote her letter of recommendation from a teacher, I have worked with many academically exceptional students in the years I have taught. However, what sets Ava apart is the kindness, professionalism, and grace she embodies. Ava, you were elected as a student leader, and through that work, you are leaving an important legacy to the Vashon Island School District. Your advocacy to our state legislators helped secure mental health funding for students here on Vashon and across Washington. We have no doubt you'll leave your mark wherever you go. We are proud to award you the Penny Farsi Scholarship to help you on your way. Congratulations, Ava. Catherine Montaño Esparza. Volunteering at the Matsuda farm, helping grow vegetables to take to families in need, brought a sense of fulfillment and happiness to Catherine Montaño. Artistic endeavors, including ceramics, jewelry making, and photography, have enabled her to express herself regardless of any language barrier. Processing an internal strength and quiet confidence, she is described as diligent, determined, and generous. Through her internship at the Vashon Nature Center, she flourished as a counselor at their youth summer camp. Catherine's future plans include furthering her studies in English and preparing herself to perhaps study law. She would like to advocate for others both here and in her native Mexico. To help her reach her goals, she is the recipient of Windermere and Rotary scholarships. If I may, I would like to read this in Spanish for Catherine and her family. Me gustaría leer en español para Catherine y su familia. Catherine Montaño Esparza ha sido voluntaria en Matsuda Farms, ayudando a crecer vegetales y llevar a las familias necesitadas. Esto le trajo a Catherine mucha satisfacción y felicidad. Su pasión por el arte, incluyendo cerámica, joyería y fotografía, es su manera de expresarse sin importar cualquier barrera con el idioma. Catherine posee una fuerza interna y mucha confianza en sí misma. La describimos como determinante y generosa y muy inteligente. En su tiempo con el Centro de la Naturaleza, ella floreció como consejera en el campamento de verano para los jóvenes. Los planes futuros de Catherine incluyen seguir sus estudios en inglés y prepararse para estudiar leyes. A Catherine le gustaría abogar por otras personas aquí y en su nativo México. Para ayudarla a llegar a su meta, ella es recipiente de Windermere y Rotary Scholarships. Muchas felicidades, Catherine. Thank you.
Lift you up, lift me up. All right. The Vashon Community Scholarship Foundation and their work is deep in this community, as you can tell. It's a commitment shared by these families to honor what we value for the future of our young graduates, and these are families who participated in creating these scholarships.
Preben and Nicole Martin, Radford and the Veach families, Rick Mellon and Joe Robinson, Ron and Laura Weston, Sarah St. Germain and friends,
Scott and Michelle Harvey, Sydney Farsi, tech industry folks of Vashon, Cameron Bard, the Carroll family,
the Tuttle family, Tom Spring, Trusello Family Foundation, Kaylee Abella and friends of Amy Dubin, Linda Creighton Griffin,
the Loveness,
sorry,
go ahead.
Griffith,
the Loveness family, Gim, Colin, and Elizabeth, Mary Jane Gartick, the Garrettson Helsby family, Norm Matthews family, and family of friends of Phil Volker.
These kids are truly blessed by this island, and we are so blessed by pronouncing these names so badly and by people not getting upset at us. We have a couple of really special scholarships we want to talk about right now. The first one
is the Creative Preschool's Go Play Scholarship.
It's a new one.
It is a new one.
Right.
The Creative Preschool, which welcomed wee Vashon kids starting in the late 1970s, finally closed its doors after the pandemic. All good things must end. And with their last remaining funds, they created a scholarship to be awarded this year to one of their not-so-wee alumni of class of 23. Tonight's first and final recipient of the Creative Preschool Go Play Scholarship is advised to, quote, approach higher education and training with all the confidence and gusto their 4-year-old self brought to the sandbox, paintbrushes, and swings.
I love that. There's a new memorial scholarship this year that is inspired by someone else who found education to be a joyful mission, and this is the Wayne Holt Memorial Scholarship. With the Wayne Holt Memorial Scholarship, friends, family, and colleagues have an opportunity to remember Wayne as an inspirational leader with a deep respect for other people's varied views and ideas. Wayne's entire career was dedicated to higher education, specializing in computer software to help students succeed. His company, Software Research Northwest, was headquartered in the Spinnaker building uptown for many years, and he called Vashon home. He believed in the value of a liberal arts education and was a strong speaker, a writer, a debater, a photographer, a cook, and a computer software architect. This scholarship provides support for students attending a liberal arts college or university with a preference given to students exhibiting selflessness and scientific curiosity.
You know, it's cool to read all these different scholarships, and it was really cool to write one. And I really want to recommend, it doesn't have to be a huge amount of money, but it's a really fun thing to do, to participate in. If you have, you know, a little extra cash lying around and you want to sponsor a student to go ahead with their dreams, this is a really beautiful thing. And to remember, there's a QR code in your program if you want to make a donation. Just going to do a little push there.
That's to the General Scholarship Fund. Now we get to introduce someone else.
Now we get to introduce, how long have we lived here? And how many of the people that we moved here with
century.
Are still the people that we hang out with. It's terrifying. Okay, please welcome another of the original founders of Vashon's physical theater company, Umo Ensemble, co-founder of the Open Space for Arts and Community, where you are right now, Mr. David Godsey.
I just want to take a moment to do my favorite thing when I'm on this stage. How many of you are here right now? Those of you at home, you can wave at the TV or computer too. Well, let's get started right away. Some of these people I know, some of them I don't know yet, but I'm sure I will hear about in the future. Let's start with Alwyn Stommet. So Alwyn, apparently tinkering, figuring things out, and experimentation are words that go along with you. Use those to describe yourself and your interest in computers. For nearly half of your life, you've been teaching yourself programming. You've applied these skills to web design, and apparently you've developed a rather strong interest in music production. And there's more. Beyond the digital world, your scholarship notebook shows you're active and outgoing. Whether you're on the VHS tennis team, on a bike trail, or at the stadium, you're always with a group of friends, clearly having a great time and hamming it up for the camera. I could see that. Those snapshots are refreshing, as they are always those experiences in life. You've been chosen to receive the Tech Curious Scholarship and the VCSF Creative Spirit Award, and they seem like a great fit, Alwyn. Congratulations. Bella Deloche. Seeing the world with a creative eye defines Bella Deloche's approach to life. Art is her center and touchstone. Bella writes about losing herself in her art, how focusing on minute visual details is meditative and relaxing. Making art has provided her with an emotional outlet and a source of stability in times of change. A teacher sums it up by saying, Bella is an amazing artist who uses that creativity to solve problems. We need more of that. Bella's integrity, positive energy, and desire to help people make her an outstanding worker and a good student. For life after high school, Bella is considering becoming a massage therapist to help people heal, or working with food because, as she says, it's one of the best parts of life. For all these qualities, Bella Deloche will receive the Triple C Award for her creativity, courage, and compassion. Keep on creating, Bella, and congratulations. Ashley Svensson. Yeah. I'm going to quote Ashley to start. I want to have a balanced knowledge of the two countries I live in, and I work hard to make this happen. The experience of dividing her time between Korea and Vashon has encouraged her personal cultivation of a global outlook. A teacher notes that she shows up with authenticity and kindness, incorporating her creative spirit in all subjects and nurturing creativity in others. Last year, Ashley volunteered with Sound Foundation, working with teams building tiny houses for homeless people. I almost said tiny people. That's just not what I meant to say. Learning to construct dwellings from the bottom up fed her vision of a sustainable future for all. From an early age, Ashley has had a great passion for art. Expressing herself through the design of original characters and lively background stories are gifts she'll apply as she studies digital animation in college. The Eagles Scholarship, Trusello Family Scholarship, and the Neil McEldowney Women in the Arts Award will help you on your way. Congratulations, Ashley. Lorelei Fitterer. At Cedar Song, Vashon's all-outdoor preschool, Lorelei Fitterer was encouraged to take up space in her surroundings. Her confident, headstrong nature grew along with her respect for and curiosity about others. Lorelei's Spanish teacher predicts she will cut a wide swath through life and elevate those around her while doing it. For example, during a class trip to Costa Rica, she worked with a women's cooperative, translating their ideas into the design of signage and menus in Spanish. On the debate team, she was a fierce and funny teammate with a quick, insightful mind. She's headed for an honors college program in criminology and communications. Lorelei, you have been awarded the Wayne Holt Memorial Scholarship and a Bound to Make a Difference Award for a senior who exhibits the qualities for becoming an influential leader. Congratulations, Lorelei. River Morales. passion for art drives River Morales' dreams of creating graphic novels and concept art for movies and video games. Being able to show his work and give others the gift of art is very important to him. River has created 2 online comics, with both having over 20,000 readers. Indeed. He says continuing to share his work and reaching others with messages of courage, strength, and overcoming obstacles will be a lifetime endeavor. River describes himself as observant, curious, kind, and empathetic, characteristics echoed by his friends and advisors. He has a sense of self that is profoundly mature and inspiring. He'll be off to a great start with the assistance of scholarships from the Lindsay family, Azim St. Moreau, and the Vashon Island Visual Artists Award. Congratulations, River. Isaac Harrison. Isaac, you know this advice, but it always bears repeating. Always listen to your mom. She tells you, and I quote, "You find the light even in the pitch black." You are a talented soccer player and a dedicated student, but your true gift might be your unflinching optimism, your ability to put a positive spin on any situation, and your gift for finding silver linings. Your friends, coaches, and teachers know you as someone of outstanding character who is kind and respectful, a dedicated teammate, and a thoughtful leader. That's why you've been selected for both the Thriftway and the VCSF Love of the Game scholarships. Isaac, we can always find the light and never lose hope because of examples like you, even when times get tough. Thank you and congratulations. Delaney Meyer. First, I have to ask you, did I say your first name correctly? Fabulous. So, with that note, may I be the first to introduce you to Senator Delaney Meyer. My colleague across the aisle. Senator Meyer, the athlete, the art lover, the backpacker and paddler, the maker, pool manager, and pharmacy associate, has the life experience to effectively represent all her constituents. Since you are her constituent, she will want to know about your culture, how you organize your world, and she will introduce you to new possibilities. Her endorsements describe her as thoughtful, thorough, precise, and insightful. She has learned to write in Elvish script. Well, you never know when you might be representing an elf. Senator Meyer Delaney, for now, will receive the Nuevo Corso Scholarship for her belief and commitment to good governance, a Vashon Community Scholarships Award for academic excellence, and in a blast from her past, the Go Play Scholarship from her childhood alma mater, Creative Plea School. And that's because we need more 4-year-olds on the floor of the Senate. Thank you. Thank you, Delaney. Clementine Gripman Whistler. Yeah. Okay. One of her references wrote that Clementine Gripman Whistler is a strong leader and a wonderful human being. She has the vision for what can be done and is willing to do what it takes to accomplish her goals. We see this in your volunteer work with the Girls to Girls, where you work to raise money for the girls in rural Kenya to continue their education. Your experiences and observations during COVID lockdown inspired you to start a podcast to connect with other teens, promoting discussion about issues that you are passionate about. In your notebook, you wrote about feeling the warmth and support of the Vashon community, and you have carried on this spirit of generosity and selflessness in your own activities. Clementine, you have been awarded the Phil Volker Stewards of the Future and the Honoring Donna Donnelly Scholarships. Congratulations and best of luck. Amelia Krause. Our next graduate is a unique blend of athlete, academic, and musician. Amelia Krause has played club soccer, is a National Honor Society member, and a talented musician who taught herself to play electric and acoustic guitar. She also dabbles in AI robotics, pencil drawing, and journaling. Amelia, you are certainly pack a lot of talent into one person. Your teachers say you have a strong work ethic and you take responsibility for learning. Those are some of the reasons you've been selected for the Tech Curious Scholarship and the VCSF Creative Scholarship to help you continue your education. Amelia, we hope that as you make it to New York City and beyond, you won't forget your island roots. They will help you a lot in places like that. Have fun. We'll be cheering for you. I was going to wait to cry, but I'm just going to do it. Okay. Okay. Giacomo Moody. And I asked to do this, so I asked to put myself through this. I have known Giacomo Moody since foreverness, and I'm really proud to stand here reporting back about how amazing you are. Giacomo is, amongst other things, a lifelong swimmer, a mountain biker, and a scuba diver with interests in geography, speculative evolution, and linguistics. After watching a documentary about the loss of diversity in our ecosystems, Giacomo was inspired to learn more. He wrote this: "I'm driven by the world of science and nature, so working with the former to preserve the latter appeals to me. A hobby called world building has led to research in the natural sciences and a plan to travel and study engineering after high school." Giacomo, you are appropriately awarded 2 scholarships: the Vashon Engineers Award for the pursuit of a career in engineering, and the PSCCU's Sustainability Award for your interest in the environment. Congratulations, Giacomo. Did I get everybody? Everybody? That's it. Thank you.
Congratulations, each group as they
take off into the world.
Yeah, as they get their stories told too.
So exciting.
The next the next group of organizations has to be introduced by We Work Hard, We Play Hard. These are the sports organizations that are cheering on our graduates this evening: Vashon Island Rowing Club, the Women's Club and Vashon Golf and Country Club, Vashon Island Soccer Club, Vashon Youth Baseball and Softball, Vashon Basketball Club, and the Vashon Tennis Community. These organizations are stepping up for their student athletes. Thank you so much.
To say that the Vashon Women's Golf and Country Club is a new organization.
It's a new organization.
Just making note.
Okay,
new
good.
organizations.
Right.
All right, let's talk about peace, love, and understanding.
Let's.
This is a story of the Peace Award. The Peace Award was started decades ago by a group of Vashon Island high school teachers and counselors. They took up a collection from the staff every year for a student who had demonstrated a commitment to peace, social justice, and integrity, all things that they wanted to promote in the school and in the world. Once the original group retired, the Vashon Friends Worship Group, Vashon's Quaker faith community, stepped up. The scholarship was a wonderful fit for their philosophy of peace, justice, and earth stewardship, and they have been awarding it ever since. And Edna Dams and perhaps others from the French Worship Group are in the house, yes? Edna, are you here? Maybe? Anyway, we thank them for this award.
I was talking to Lou Mangione before the event about the incredible celebration of the amazing career of Cornelius Lopez, who recently retired after 50-plus years at the high school. But the next presenter deserves to have such a party. For our next group of students, please welcome a much-loved award-winning teacher at Chautauqua's multi-age program, where she taught for decades. A multi-year presenter here at the scholarship ceremony, our own Jerry Wilson.
I'm giving you a hug.
Well, it's great to be here tonight and to see all of you guys. And if you only knew me when I was their age, you wouldn't want me up here on the stage. I am just so totally amazed at the depth of heart these children from our island have. It is just so incredible and awe-inspiring. I'd like to honor two kids together. If I could have Jonas come up and Marina Ray. Yeah. I had the honor to be their teacher for 3 years when they were 6, 7, 8. And there's a few others in the class here that I would love to give a hug to. But these are some of the best multi-agers ever. And so I want to talk about Jonas. Jonas, wow. Jonas has learned that everything is more enjoyable if you are surrounded by a good community. Jonas discovered dirt biking as an avenue for adventure, and with that, the camaraderie of like-minded groups. Jonas has spent hours helping to create and maintain trails for everyone's use and enjoyment. Jonas has many interests and talents, and I knew that. I didn't know how deep they were. He is the founding member of his own business line. Can you say the name of your line? Cybelle Clothing. Look it up. He builds computers, keyboards, and enjoys aerial photography and videography. Jonas is a gifted academic with a good sense of humor and fun. He would like to go into aerospace engineering. We did a unit on space, and I am sure that's where he got that from. With a possible second degree in economics and finance, so he can be part of pushing the limits of space exploration. Jonas Wahanick has been awarded the Beasley Family Foundation Scholarship and the Griffin Maritime Scholarship. Congratulations, Jonas. I was going to give him a hug, but he took Okay. Marina Ray Gill might be quiet and reserved, but as one of her teacher warns, it would be a mistake to underestimate Marina's abilities. Indeed, Marina Ray expresses herself through her art of drawing and painting, writing, and dance. She's an avid hiker, backpacker, soccer player, and skier. She's fluent in French and is a reporter and editor at the Riptide. That's amazing. All while managing an ambitious academic schedule. Marina Ray, I don't think you've left a stone unturned on the island or a hobby left untried. You're prepared for college and wherever the future takes you. And you will get a boost from the Mellon Robinson Blue Sky Scholarship and the Vashon Island Rotary Scholarship. Marina Ray, you've already accomplished so much. And we can't wait to see where you go next. Good luck. Okay, back to it. Okay, now all these kids that I'm getting to meet tonight. Jaylee Stubblefield Jacobs. Well, you know, getting this packet a few days ago, and every year when you get the packet and you read about these kids, it is just like, I can't wait to get here. So Jaylee is engaged with life. She's gifted with the ability to understand others. She's curious about the world and fearless. Jaylee volunteered at an assisted living facility and was known for her warm professional demeanor. The director there said she jumped right in and she proved to be a natural. She was able to take little directions and intuitively knew how to help make meaningful outcomes for our residents. Jaylee is a leading member of the Racial Equity PAC, whose mission is to inform students about racism. She writes, "I want to do all I can to fix it." Before going to high school on Vashon, she lived in Oklahoma. I can sing that song really well. And credits her experience there for opening her eyes to how the world works and making her a kinder person. Jaylee hopes to spread compassion as a future therapist. We support her goals with 3 very special scholarships: Granny's Attic, Unity in Diversity, and the Peace Award. Oh, congratulations, Jaylee. Okay, Max Pearson, step right up. Well, he admits he doesn't want to be a jack of all trades, but instead aims to be a king of all trades. You would love Leroy, my dad. With curiosity, enthusiasm for learning facts, trivia, and skills, and infectious energy, we know you'll master many academic subjects, hobbies, and jobs. Max, you're off to a great start. You have impressive command of pop music and graphic arts. You're well known in the school community as a dedicated student, kind friend, and a compassionate leader. Max, we are excited as you are for the adventures as you head off to college. You are receiving the Harbor School Board of Trustees scholarships, the Extra Mile Scholarship, and the VCSF Bring It On Award. Outstanding, and congratulations, Max. Okay. Dylan Bradrick. Hello. Yay. Well, Dylan writes, "I am first and foremost an artist, no doubt about it. The list of mediums that he has experimented in is long. There's drawing and painting, and of course, and also ceramics and jewelry, mosaics, digital and film photography, sewing and fiber arts, leatherwork, wow, caustic, sculpture and woodworking. Oh, and performing arts too. Dylan is empathetic and passionate and enjoys learning. Wow. After graduating from high school, he intends to continue this art exploration in college. Dylan, we are happy to present you with these awards. You ready? The Trusello Scholarship, the Vashon Island Visual Artists Award for a student who shows exceptional promise in any medium and intends to study or make a career in the arts, and Vashon Center for the Arts scholarships honoring Art Hansen, a lifetime artist who made a big contribution to the arts on Vashon. Congratulations, Phil. Make your mark. Okay, Isabella Bezonic. I love this. This is what Isabella says. I'm a lot of energy in a little package. Isabella describes herself, her long list of accomplishments and praise from teachers and colleagues certainly support this idea. Her teacher even remarked, I'm not sure how she balances everything, but she does. Okay. Bella spends her seemingly endless time working at Thriftway, drawing and other creative outlets, roller skating, the old school style. I did that too. I had the best roller skates, logging over 400 volunteer hours at the Vashon Library, commuting off island for Running Start, and dedicating time for family and friends. Bella is awarded the Windermere and the Rotary scholarships to support her future endeavors, which are sure to be many. And we hope this can help you achieve your dreams for a role in the medical field, leadership opportunities, and a chance to explore your Chinese heritage and learn Mandarin and whatever it takes and whatever else you want to dream about. Okay, Alex McDonald. Yay. She's got a great smile here. Alex, you've impressed us and so many in the community with your resilience, creativity, and leadership. You're a motivated student, a curious person who engages others, an inspiring writer. You discovered Journeyman's Institute on an 8th grade wilderness backpacking adventure. That was the beginning of a long-standing relationship and your path to become a leader and an advocate. You're proud of speaking out for the inclusion of youth of all genders and seeing that realized in the current Journeyman's curriculum. Wow. Throughout your high school career, you took initiative and succeeded, and you did it, all the while working part-time jobs to support yourself. Alex, we're certain you'll bring that same resolve with you as you continue your education, and we know you'll succeed. And you'll go with the help of scholarships from Granny's Attic and Journeyman. Go for it, Alex. Okay, I need to see Reese Thompson. Come on down. You know, Reese, sometimes you just know, and I think you just knew, because it says here, in about 5 years, a group of children will be lucky enough to have a teacher named Reese Thompson. Yep. Besides genuinely identifying with the wild imaginations of kids, Reese is eager to create a safe place for children to be heard and appreciated. One great lesson she will impart is something that taught her by her mother. It's okay to be mad and angry, but you can't be mean. And what a different world we would have if every child learned that. Reese's many outdoor and artistic interests, her organizational skills, and patience with all enrich her role as an educator. Each scholarship Reese is receiving acknowledges and supports her future in education. These are the Bernice Black Memorial and PEO Scholarship, the Extra Mile Award, and the first ever Wild Isle Scholarship. Thank you. Congratulations. Okay, now I get to meet Hank McSheehy. Hi, Hank. As a long-distance runner and captain of the varsity cross-country team, Hank knows what it takes to set a goal and to work towards it, slowly chipping away, steadily making progress and improving one step at a time. Hank has used that mindset to become an exceptional student and a quiet leader at VHS. Hank is not only an athlete and a standout student, he's a talented musician who has played piano since the age of 5. And he recently discovered new skills and gained some new fans as a summer camp counselor. Hank, we see your hard work and dedication to your goals, and we know these traits will suit you very well. We're thrilled to present to you with the Academic Excellence Scholarship from VCSF and the VCSF Run Scholarship. Well done, and congratulations, Hank. Okay. How many more do I have left? Is it just one? Did you? Okay. I didn't know if I messed up a page or not. Okay, Oliver Prophet. Okay. When at an early age, Oliver Prophet heard the phrase, learn to row your own boat, he took those words to heart and began to explore his emerging interests, discovering that he had a great affinity for robotics. Oliver took full advantage of any opportunity to become a strategic thinker. One teacher noted that Oliver has a striking depth of understanding of robotic design. And furthermore, he brings a sense of kindness, maturity, and tremendous patience to the most challenging situations. A deep appreciation of his teacher mentors led Oliver to work in an island daycare where he encouraged children to be adventurous. To Oliver, key in learning to row your own boat is the ethic of helping others do the same. Cheers, Oliver. You have been awarded the Wayne Hote Memorial Scholarship, the Trucello Family Scholarship, and the Tech Curious Award from the Tech Industry Professionals on Vashon. Woo! Thank you.
Congratulations, you guys.
We are in the home stretch.
All right. Moving right on through those who have donated to these different scholarships, we'd like to acknowledge the Island Faith organizations who are showing up for our Island graduates. The Vashon Presbyterian Church, Vashon Friends Worship Group, Vashon Island Community Church, the Burton Community Church, and Vashon Island Unitarian Fellowship.
We want to tell you a teeny bit more about the new scholarship, the Women's Club of the Vashon Golf and Country Club Scholarship. It is to honor young women who have been involved in golf, swimming, tennis, or pickleball, who value a lifestyle of healthy exercise and the friendships and camaraderie created at the same time. So great. And before we introduce our next presenter, because he asked me to do this earlier and I didn't do it, emergency exits are through curtains there and there, and they're lit up and will help, and obviously through the way that you came, and you'll know why I said this now.
Wow, okay. Your students might know the next presenter as a tough but friendly substitute principal at VHS. He definitely knows who you are and where you're supposed to be.
And where the emergency exits are.
He's also a highly regarded former principal at McMurray Middle School and a veteran volunteer firefighter. Mike Kirk is in the house.
Thank you. Check this microphone out. Good. Natalia Matuski. Natalia, a future career in marketing is on your mind, and you're well on your way to accomplishing this goal. While commuting off island, you also found time to play tennis, work at 2 local businesses, train as an aerial artist, and volunteer in Ecuador to help create safer learning environments for children. Before your time as a Running Start student at Tacoma Community College, your high school experiences was disrupted by the COVID epidemic, and you found yourself, like your classmates, a student in Google Classroom. However, unlike your classmates, you simultaneously participated in remote learning while helping your family care for your baby brother. Despite all these challenges, you've excelled academically. To quote one of your counselors, this speaks volumes about her dedication, determination, and time management, and is something that she should be very proud of. Natalia, tonight you are awarded the Tennis Group Scholarship, the Vashon Island Golf and Country Club Women's Group Scholarships. Congratulations. Next, Evan Sarebrikoff. Now, soccer should be your middle name. The photos in his scholarship notebook tell the story of a soccer-infused life, learning the game as a little guy, playing on one team or another, or both, enjoying the camaraderie of teammates. Evan describes himself as goal-oriented, you get that, funny, hardworking. He is close to his family. He writes, "Gardening is a way my dad taught me life's lessons, insisting I do it right the first time." The game is still looming large for the next phase of Evan's life. He hopes to play soccer in college while studying business management. Evan, your teachers vouch for your positive influence on others as well, and we all wish you well in your future endeavors. Continue to be this calm oasis in a busy world. You're being honored by the Love of the Game Award. Benjamin Godwin. Ben is a hardworking, driven person who started a highly successful lawn care and landscaping company when he was a sophomore. He has admirable goal of having his own business to pay his way through school without accruing any debt. In addition to running his business, he enjoys working on cars and small engines and purchasing one or two more catalytic converters due to some unfortunate circumstance. Ben is an exceptional student athlete who takes his academics seriously while at the same time participating in football, wrestling, and track and field. His football coach notes that Ben possesses the admirable characteristics of being a strong leader, commitment to his team, resilience, the qualities that we recognize through the first award, the Extra Mile Award, and secondly, the Robert Bennetson Memorial Reward. Nick Zuckerman. Community is something Nick values. One of the ways Nick has found and fostered community is through soccer. He's played every year since 6th grade and has met nearly all of his friends there. Nick always admired the maturity and leadership of former soccer captains and was honored to be chosen as co-captain of the Vashon High School team this year. Nick also loves to learn through books and hands-on experience. He's a gifted academic, photographer of nature landscapes, and the Milky Way, a backpacker, giving blood to mosquitoes in need, a sea kayaker, a gardener, and a carpenter. Nick plans to pursue a major in either biology, chemistry, or some form of mathematics. Nick will receive the Science and Math Innovation Award and the Dr. Gary Cook Scholarship. Congratulations. Ninabelle Mullins. Art, camps, and lacrosse. 3 arenas that help define Ninabelle. She runs art booths at the craft fair where she shows and sells her creations. Being a camp counselor is where she's learned that she could make a difference in other people's lives. She's the rare lacrosse goalie that everyone relies on, not just for her defense. Her coach says that the cheers for Ninabelle's saves are often as loud, if not louder, than the cheers for her team's goals. Ninabelle is a positive influence because of her empathy, ability to problem solve, and her sense of humor. Ninabelle is interested in architecture or industrial engineering and wants to continue to create art. Nightingale has been awarded the Impact Scholarship for her ability to make a difference in whatever she pursues. Congratulations. Sophie Merrigan. A community member writes, Sophie Merrigan is my favorite teenager. High praise for a young adult who really cares about her relationships, the old and the new and the in-between. Sophie simply loves people. The deep and genuine interest in others makes a positive impact on those around her. She spent time volunteering in Peru, doing maintenance on school buildings and working in the daycare center. She writes about her Peru experience with respect and gratitude. She says, my favorite memory is of the heavenly aroma of sweet, fresh bread wafting from the kitchen to my bedroom. Sophie notices life around and within her. Her work with the Vashon High School Disability Advocacy Club helped develop her leadership and those skills. Sophie definitely wants a career advocating for others. We celebrate her presence on the island, and she receives the Trucello Award and the Thriftway Award. Congratulations. Leah Gross. Leah Gross discovered early in the pandemic that learning to juggle would help her get by. At first, this meant juggling a soccer ball. Later, she discovered that keeping the ball in the air applied to much more than just soccer. And from her teachers and coaches, it's apparent that Leah knows how to keep up with her schoolwork. A job at a local ice cream shop, volunteering with Vashon Nature Center to get an introduction to marine science, family life, and of course, soccer. Her dedication to the VHF soccer team, even after she suffered a season-ending injury, was brave and showed her effective leadership skills and resilience to keep juggling even when it was difficult. Leah is awarded the Mellon Robinson Blue Sky Scholarship, the Ryan Krug Memorial, and the Vashon Island Soccer Club Award. Your Vashon community is proud of you, Leah, and you will always be there and will always be there to help keep the ball moving. Congratulations. Malaya Dickerson. In high school, you found your passion and learned how to use your voice to stand up for what you believe. Malia, we know that you will continue to be a fierce advocate as you leave the island and go to the world. You will keep up the fight for social and racial justice, shining a light on the issues that are important and inspiring your peers and all of us with your spoken word performances. Malia, we know the journey hasn't been easy. You're brave, you're smart, you're determined, and we know that you will reach your dreams. To help you on that path, you're receiving the Trucello Scholarship, the Spoken Word Scholarship from Vashon Community Scholarship Fund. We wish you the best. Theodore Schill. Theo's scholarship notebook shows a record of academic success, revealing a student that is brilliant, dedicated, and down to earth. It's infused with Theo's deep love of music, including a proud moment when his choir performed with the symphony and he felt transported by the power of the instruments and the harmony of the voices. But it is the quality of Theo's writing that is perhaps the most unique part of his application. Theo is a gifted storyteller. He writes about his grandmothers, playing the piano, singing, writing, loving his family most of all, and wanting to go overseas for college and for the adventure. Keep writing, Theo. The world will benefit from your intelligence, sensitivity, and creativity. Your ability to learn from the lessons of others is worth sharing. Congratulations on being chosen to receive the Thriftway Scholarship, as well as the award, Le Bon Mot, Le Good Word Award. Congratulations. And Aaron Courtney. Aaron's scholarship notebook contains more wheels per page than most bikes, classic cars, and go-karts. It also contains this nuance. He listed his favorite classes as Mr. Tilden's AP Human Geography, Mrs. Miller's AP US History, and Mr. Cutterback's math analysis. He recognizes influential people in his life. He credits his grandpa for nurturing his love of cars and his mentors at Engels Towing and Repair. For they gave him the tools and the independence to develop his skills working on engines. Andrew describes a flow of mind while working on cars where he is perfectly focused on the problem at hand and time stands still. Like his family, Aaron's scholarship awards are rooted in Vashon's history. Aaron, you are receiving the Beardsley Family Scholarship to pursue your studies in the automotive industry, and the Adamy Motorscope Scholarship in honor of Brian Adamy, valedictorian of the high school class of 1981, and a fellow motor enthusiast, a lover of hard work, faith, and family. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mike, for your service to this community. What a
Forever and ever.
fantastic person to have up here with us. I don't know if you all have noticed, but every single student that's announced, the rest of the students in the class scream. They scream for them. It's really quite amazing the support they have for each other. Finally, we're not going to name all the people who donated to the general fund, but you can find their names in the program right next to the QR code. Which we subtly mentioned one more time. All of the board-awarded scholarships come from the general fund.
Greg Martin, Win Mentink, Marcia Bloomgren. You may or may not know each other, but you've pooled donations and you enabled us to award scholarships for academic excellence to students with near-perfect grade point averages. Zibet McComber, Paul Tegenfeld, your donations, along with others, funded the Making a Difference Now scholarship. Thank you.
So the story is this. Donors can create scholarships, support scholarships created by their families and friends, and or support the general fund so that we can pool funds for board-awarded scholarships. Every single VHS graduate who completes a scholarship notebook gets money for higher education and training, and we bring it all together in this amazing ceremony. How cool is this? How cool is this?
It's cool.
Awesome.
We have one more scholarship story to tell, and it's a sweet one. It's called The Story of Jerry and Sarah Matthews.
Boy meets Vashon Summer Girl, both from hardworking families. They work and play together and raise their own family, their own Vashon Summer family. They enjoy business success, and they give back to their beloved Vashon by creating an ambitious scholarship, a very generous grant renewable for 4 years, given to a student who shows good character, academic growth and achievement, involvement in school activities, and persistence in the face of challenge.
Jerry, Sarah, and their family choose one student from the stack of notebooks to cheer on all the way through college. Every now and then they offer an extra one-year grant to another student because it's hard to pick just one. And they have indeed awarded a generous one-year bonus scholarship this year because they could not resist.
Well, it's great that they could not resist. That's awesome. Jerry admits that at first donating more scholarship money than his buddy Ray Aspiri might have been something that influenced his generosity. But after years of coaching and cheering on recipients, he's come around to sharing Sarah's motivation, which is doing it for the pure joy of helping a whole bunch of people attend college and fulfill their potential.
Like other Vashon families who come together to sponsor a scholarship, the Matthews family has found that working on this project puts their family values into action and connects them even more closely with their special island.
Jerry and Sarah, are you in the house? They couldn't come tonight? Okay,
we
give them love. Anyway.
We love them. They're so generous. So generous.
All right, folks, and here we are, our final presenter and our final group of students from the class of 2023. Mom to man twins, Chester and Clyde, and daughter Corinne, owner of pet care store Pandora's Box, where many of us spend lots and lots of our money, where many of you buy your beds and treats. VCSF board member and scholarship notebook whisperer, Cheryl Pruitt.
We love you.
Good evening, thank you. I was going to start, I had a lot of clever, witty comments to start with, but some unforeseen circumstances have happened, causing me to cruelly cut that short. So, welcome to the last group lightning round. We are going to go through this as quickly as I can read these. Cassie Pateco. Blessed are the peacemakers, kind and warm. Cassie Pateco has a stabilizing effect on those around her, says her teacher mentor. Blessed are the advocates. As co-president of the Green Team, Cassie and crew influenced policies that elevated Vashon High School from a level 2 to a level 3 in environmentally sound practices. She has gained the respect of Samantha Wigand, owner of Glass Bottle Creamery, who trusts her to open and close the shop uptown. Blessed are the storytellers. Cassie has recently taken up the guitar and started to share her music. For all of this, Cassie, and for your tremendous academic achievement besides, you will receive the 4-year Jerry and Sarah Matthews Scholarship to pursue your interests in environmental studies and conservation. In addition, the Phil Vocal Memorial Scholarship for being willing and eager to explore new ideas. Congratulations. Grace Slapp. I choose to be a sweet person who strives for improvement. It is a wise person who knows that they have a choice. According to Grace Slapp's mentors at work and at school, she walks this talk in her life every day. Grace came to Vashon High School and she lived it up. She played sports, took AP and honors classes, and held after-school jobs at Langland Dental and the hardware store, where she may have greeted you. She is known as one who treats people of all ages and stripes with dignity and kindness. Finally, she is a beach naturalist who has embraced our marine environment and will go on to study marine biology. Grace, may your sweetness and work ethic continue to energize you and all who are fortunate to meet you. You have been chosen to receive a bonus 1-year Jerry and Sarah Matthews Scholarship. Kaya. Kaya Bella Van Brost has been making art since she was little and drew a mural on her mom's bedroom wall that her mom left up until they moved. Her artistic talents have been featured in the West Seattle Art Walk, in a literary magazine, and she was commissioned to paint a guitar for the VHS guitar building class. Kaya finds the silver lining in the challenges, whether it's understanding math concepts, healing from a sports injury, or embracing authenticity in art. To her, it's all about connections and finding community. Kaya is a soccer player, snowboarder, biker, and hiker. For life after high school, she's interested in marine biology or outdoor product design. Kaya, wherever you go, they'll be lucky to have you, just like we have been. You're awarded an Eagle Scholarship for Art, an Extra Mile Award as a commuter, and the Carroll Family Scholarship for soccer. Layla. Layla Mortensen? Layla. But I'll get you next, Noah. Sorry, that was probably my fault. Strength of character can be measured by what we are willing to do for others. So writes Layla Mortensen, a young woman who possesses an uncommon persistence that leads her to work through challenges with grace and humor. Naturally curious, tremendously hardworking, Layla will not give up when obstacles are set before her. Her rowing coach comments on the immense positive impact she has on others, the culture of caring she brings with her, and the unstoppable fun inherent in her personality. Layla, you are a force of good in the lives of those around you. Your optimism and determination prove your aim to be true. Congratulations on being awarded an VCSF Scholarship for Academic Excellence, the Moeller Award, and the Pura Vida Scholarship. Congratulations. All right, Noah, this is you. This one's really for Noah. All right. Self-described car enthusiast Noah Brzezinski got his start trading Hot Wheels in preschool. Some 12 years later, the passion still burns bright, and he will attend the Wyoming Technical College studying auto body technology. But he's so much more than just a car guy. He is an active outdoor sportsman, enjoying skiing and snowboarding, and he's passionate about animals, having spent 3 years volunteering for Vashon Island Pet Protectors. Noah also enjoys traveling with family and exploring the national parks. Yet another side hustle is his newly found love of the culinary arts. This Renaissance teen, as he was described by one reference, will certainly make good use of a Justin Haggerty Memorial Scholarship, a Voice of Vashon Scholarship, and a Rotary Scholarship. Catherine Ellison. Catherine? As they say, sometimes it's hard to see the forest through the trees. But born and raised on Vashon Island, Catherine Ellison truly appreciates what a special place this is, and she's already got plans on how to make it more affordable and accessible for others. Catherine has plans to attend college, get her pilot certification, and a real estate license. But we think she'll be back one day to put her ideas into action and make Vashon an even better place for the next generation to grow up. Her peers and co-workers attest to Catherine's motivation. She's hardworking and dedicated. Catherine, those traits will serve you well. You'll also get support from the Garrettson-Helsby Family Scholarship and the VCSF Community Vision Scholarship. Congratulations, Catherine. All right, Emerson Hickman. One look through Emerson Hickman's portfolio and his passion for photography is evident. There is a different quality to his snapshots. As described by his teacher, he has a keen eye for color, textures, and spatial reasoning, and he loves to talk about the craft. It seems he loves to share it as well, shooting photography for his family's business, local shops, the Passport to Pain ride, and the Pirates football team with quick action shots. When not behind a camera, he spent time with seniors in his community, sharing his warm and inviting personality and helping residents laugh. Emerson, you are valued and appreciated for all that you contribute, and we award you the LDM Worldwide Scholarship to help you keep sharing your vision with the world. Congratulations. Max Prophet. Max Prophet revels in a good debate. His views do not come from impulsive reactions, but rather are the product of extensive thought and reflection. He has a reputation for being a great facilitator of classroom discussions. His quest for complete understandings of subjects is well known. Max's summer experience as a sailing instructor at Quartermaster Yacht Club taught him important lessons in communicating with students who have different learning styles. Max explains that he became a better listener as he worked to help students who struggled to succeed. He felt a great sense of pride as these young people mastered challenging skills. His discoveries of learning differences among his students cut a path toward better understanding of others' needs and inspired him to pursue a career in teaching. You've been awarded the Susan Garlick Award and a Trusello Family Scholarship. Congratulations. All right, 2 to go. Maxwell Delgado Williams. Maxwell Delgado Williams is an accomplished scholar athlete who will be following his dreams of playing college football at Friends University. Sports have played an integral part of Max's life from a very young age. He played football, basketball, and baseball all 4 years of high school, resulting in numerous team and Nisqually League honors. Described as kind, generous, and funny, he has definitely left his mark as a standout Pirate. But he is more than just an exceptional athlete. Max is also an accomplished visual artist who finds enjoyment in creating abstract pieces. Max intends to put his love of art to good use as he studies architecture with the help of the J. Matthews Memorial Scholarship and a Vashon Youth Baseball and Softball Award. Congratulations, Max. Keenan Pletch. Keenan Pletch is a devotee of science fiction and fantasy books, playing strategic video games and listening to music. Exploring nature through photography is a hobby that provides him with inspiration and relaxation. Keenan's innate curiosity has led him to build an eclectic collection of books, games, and unusual objects. Academically, he excels at problem solving and embraces intellectual challenges, notably in chemistry. Quiet by nature, he is both responsible and compassionate. His love of reading has led him to be an active volunteer at both the high school and county libraries. Keenan is a self-reliant student who is interested in cybersecurity and library science, so he is sure to put his Cyber Explorer Scholarship to good use. Congratulations, Keenan.
Wow. Wow. Can we give a huge round of applause for the scholarship committee who has made this possible?
Oh my goodness.
What an amazing, amazing night.
We have just a few thank yous to do. That is all our students. That is all our scholarships for the night. There's such an amazing class. It was completely amazing to hear about all of you. And I'm sure you're going to go on to do incredible things, and we'll get to hear about those, and that'll be fun. We'd like to thank the Voice of Vashon for live streaming the scholarship ceremony. so much, always, to thank Voice of Vashon.
And we also want to thank the open space right here for making it affordable for nonprofits like the Vashon Community Scholarship Foundation to carry out its missions. It's really wonderful of you guys to extend yourself that way.
And two more things. First, we'd like to say, was this not wonderful? It's always an honor to be here and to get to listen to do this with all of you. And don't you want to keep this tradition going? We're just going to remind you about that Venmo code in the middle of your program.
QR
and to
code,
say,
QR code, QR code.
What did I say?
No, I'm just repeating it.
Oh, QR code.
Subliminal.
Just to say that this is what this island is about. There are so many ways in which Vashon is so unique and beautiful, and this is one of them, and you can participate in it. It's a community-wide event.
It's an all-volunteer organization, too, with insanely low overhead. So most of the donations go to the general fund, and 10% of the scholarships came funded from that community pool. So if you are moved to create one, once again, you can connect with the board through the website at vashonscholarshipfoundation.org. That's V-A-S-H... No, I'm not going to do it all.
Secondly, and finally, we want to introduce Ellen Call, who is the board treasurer, who's going to give you students some instructions on what you need to do to actually collect your scholarships. And the last thing we want to say before you start, Ellen, is that at the end of this program, if you have given as a scholarship and you are a student and you want to meet each other, you can go back to the table out in the lobby, and there'll be a meet and greet where you can connect to your scholarship recipients.
Ellen Call.
Thank you, Martha and Kevin. You've been out of this world.
We love you.
So take a deep breath, hang in there for about 3 more minutes, and we can go have something to eat, something to drink, and get cooled off. Again, I'm the treasurer, and so I have some practical things to speak to the students about. It won't take long. But first, I want to say there's about 14 or so scholarship board members running around here. And they do work all year long to bring the students, the donors, the teachers, the school administrators, and community organizations like VOV and Open Space together to make the scholarships happen and to make this ceremony possible. And I want you all to just wave your hands so people can realize that these volunteers are here and they're working for you students. They're all in the back. They're getting your treats ready. Second is just some good old-fashioned gratitude. I want to thank the students for creating their notebooks. They give us a glimpse into your interests, your successes, your struggles, and your dreams. And you do it with honesty, and believe me, it is beautiful, and it brings a lot of tears to people's hearts and a lot of joy. Thank you for your optimism and your potential. They give us hope. Third is simply some instructions. Students, please do not leave tonight without picking up your scholarship notebooks, which will look like this. They're little paper folders. We're going to recycle those plastic 3-ring binders and try to save the planet. But these will be by the door as you exit. Inside, you will find at least 3 items that you didn't put there yourselves. First will be an envelope. It has little certificates in it, and that will tell you how much your scholarships are worth. Interesting stuff. There will also be a bright green form. We call it the Education Information Form. And you need to fill this out so that I know where to send your scholarship funds to your school, or to hang on to it for up to 3 years while you take a gap year, travel the world, work, whatever you want to do. We will hold your money for 3 years, but we have to have this in order to know what's happening. The other document is a bright blue thank you note instruction form. One of our strict requirements is that you say thank you to the donors who made this all possible. And it will tell you who to write your notes to, and let's see, what else will it take? How to address an envelope. We found out that some of you have never sent letters. So there's a diagram, and please follow it. I'm not kidding you. It's the modern age. Anyway,
let's see. This tells you this, but we require that you bring your thank you notes and the education information form to the high school and drop it off in a mailbox that says VCSF with stamps on the envelopes. They are due by next Friday, June 2nd. And we will hunt you down if we don't find them, because we want you to be able to get your awards. So if you have questions, we have a website. You can submit an email question on that, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Okay, we've come around the last lap. We've crossed the finish line. Go eat cookies. Good night.
We hide pain in the weirdest places, broken souls with smiling faces, fighting for surrender, for now and the after, yeah. Just look around and you see that people are scared to say how they really feel. Oh, we all need a little